we begin,
This is so
before we begin, we have such an important question. Bridget and I have been arguing about this for a long time.
A year and a half.
Extra toasty Cheez-Its are a thing. You can buy them. This is not an ad for extra
Sponsor
toasty
us.
Cheez-Its.
I could be,
No,
though.
it could be. And Cheez-Its, if you're listening, please
Weigh in.
confirm.
Please, confirm whether you have people physically grab with their fingers different Cheez-Its and throw them into a box.
No,
They'll be put.
Bridget really thinks that the extra toasty Cheez-It boxes, of which they must package in bulk because they sell by the thousands in stores across America. She thinks that those boxes are comprised solely of the rejected Cheez-Its that got a little bit too well done in the normal Cheez-It batch.
I like
now,
how you
tell
said
me how
across
fucking
America, like
stupid that
Cheez-Its is nowhere else. They're
What'd you
all
say?
American rejects.
And if you see my face, hope it gives you
hell.
hell. Hope it gives you hell.
All right, should we start the
Can we
actual
move along?
podcast?
Okay. But
But
I'm right in that it would be
Hit the
way
music.
I'm not-
more efficient.
No, it's just how it works. I told her how it's made.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Absolutely not.
It's called quality control, Madison.
It's called efficiency, Bridget. How long were we on mute? Did you get to hear that quality content?
Hey guys, we're Crosscut Cinema.
He just decided that the debate was over, but
And
it's not
my
over.
name is Logan. It's really great to talk to y'all.
My name is Madison, and Bridget's a dummy.
My name is Bridget, and Madison's a dummy, but I still love her.
There's going to be people who listen to the Sonic one and then this one, and they're going to be like, where'd Bree go? Because you said Bridget instead. There's going to be
I'm
people
Bree.
like that.
Yeah,
She's the
Bree.
same.
Bridget.
We
I'm the
kicked Bridget
same.
out. Bridget's gone. Bree's here.
She's
We've
dead to
replaced her.
us.
I'm Frani.
Yep, that's objectively true.
Yeah, and this is a podcast that we do.
It's just barely.
It's called Crosscut
Just barely a podcast.
Podcast.
We just barely do it.
We are Crosscut Cinema.
I think we're really doing it now.
Sure, I mean,
We're doing it
without
a
a
lot
doubt.
better than we did.
And for all the new listeners, watchers, whatever you want to consider yourselves,
Hello.
Vanilla Skyers.
Huh.
Thank you so much for the support. We really love even the hate comments. For the penguin that commented trash, we love you, baby.
Yeah, every comment makes my day.
It really does.
Every time I read it. So like, I'm sure you don't want to hear this, but if you commented on the Vanilla Sky video and told us that we were idiots, like, that made my day.
Yeah, we love you.
It also
We
made my
actually
day.
love to see it.
The guy on the Cats video, which Cats also like got.
Yeah, oddly enough, Cats
Cats
kind of
hit
blew
a
up
spike.
too.
If you haven't watched the Cats video, you should watch it. It's
Yeah.
actually-
We
it's
we
actually
are
pretty good.
high.
It was such a
We
fun
did
time.
edibles.
The concept is
and
everyone
then
but Logan.
Who's Logan?
our
Logan?
sober shaman.
Oh.
Whoa! Way past cool. But no, so they all eat edibles as edibles are meant to be, and they get stoned out of their minds. And I just take care of them. Really, I do my best anyway. I didn't do that great of a job, but I tried my best.
You did a great job. You were a good caretaker.
Thanks.
You
buddy.
were. You did really
You
well.
had to wrangle all three of us through a movie theater.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I was probably the nicest to you I've ever been when I
Yeah.
was high.
That's pretty true. Yeah. Because you were just like, I need you here. And I was like, you've never needed me for anything.
And I never will again, so you cherish it.
She will never need
Until
a man.
she's high again.
Correct.
You're the
I
only
think
sober
what
one.
I said was, I just want to be close to you.
I've been told I have a very calming presence.
Yeah, you were like my tether to reality.
There you go. You said tethered. I'm looking at gold scissors, and I just got Jordan Peele vibes real
yeah.
bad.
Ooh.
Oof. I'm
Love it.
cross stitching
Mm-hmm.
on the podcast.
Cross-cutting.
Cross-stitching on Crosscut Cinema.
Is this a crossover episode?
I hate this. Let's move on.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about Push.
The 2009 film starring Chris Evans and Dakota Fanning and other people, but who knows?
They're less important.
Who knows? The guy from the Fear of the Walking Dead and another dude that was on a show that you guys liked that I didn't catch the name of. There's another dude you're like, I know that dude.
Which one?
Oh, and there's also the villain from the first Ant-Man movie.
I was going to say, one of them
He
was an
sniffs
Ant-Man.
things like a fucking weirdo.
Wait,
He is. Oh shit! It was if y'all watched Shameless, it was Lip sobriety coach, sobriety
that was the
man.
most Indiana. If y'all watch Shameless,
Sobriety coach? I think they call him a sponsor.
I'm sorry. The word
Which we got one of
escaped
those
me.
later in the video, guys.
Oh, hey.
So I fell asleep during this movie. Hard.
Oh, I think actually what you were talking about though was the little kid who played Sam Winchester in Supernatural.
Yes.
was there.
Yes.
Because we got
Like a young Sam. Jared Padalecki is not in this movie.
we got 2 to 3 minutes into
his
the
name's Colin.
film, and they just start going supernatural and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, that's what happened.
I mean, it starts the same way.
we were like, is this Supernatural?
A father
Is
who
that
made
what we're
bad
watching?
choices, throwing his child aside.
Maybe that's why I
Ouch.
liked it so much as a kid.
I don't think it was that.
This was Bridget's choice.
It was
Yes.
my
Yeah,
choice.
this was a favorite of Bridget's when
Let's
she
see
was
if there's
young.
a large
For
push
sixth
community
grade.
coming out to push us away.
I
Let's see if this happens.
Please.
Also, what would they have called the
Push it.
sequel? Pull?
push it real good. Sniff.
Sniff?
Oh God, the
Bleed.
sniffers.
Because there's
Bleed.
bleeders. They
There's
bleed.
there's
They
movers.
just scream. I feel like this should just be called screamers.
Oh, the watch.
Oh,
Just push. Watch.
Watch.
Watch. Push.
Move.
please. Move.
Lead. Shadow.
Shadow. That was another one. He just was doing things.
The fact that they had movers but not shakers is a crime.
I guess a pusher is like a shaker in a way.
Right.
You know, just shaking more aggressively. Is that what a pusher was called? Were they called pushers?
no.
What were they
Anything about
called?
movers.
They were called movers.
What'd you say with your mouth full of Cheez-Its?
Movers.
The movers had basically telekinesis as the very long
Okay, so
exposition
hold the
narration.
fuck up. This movie's called Push, and it's got movers in it. They're called like dudes who pick up your furniture and take it to a new location. That's fucking ridiculous.
They move. They have telekinesis. So Chris Evans in this movie is a mover because he has
He'll move
telekinetic
ya.
powers. Yeah,
He'll move you for
it's
sure.
moving.
What- He
and-
looks like the guy from One Tree Hill in this movie.
And then pushers are people who can manipulate other people's minds, so they can like push
So there
them
is
to
a
do
pusher.
something.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
so
why
like
it's called push.
like the girl Chris Evans' love interest is a pusher.
Okay, wait, whoa, let's just back up.
Do we need to
Okay,
watch this?
if-
Okay,
no,
hold
no,
on,
no,
hold
no,
on.
no. I agree. I think you guys are right, but this is an issue I have.
What's going on right now? Do we need to make a pause?
Oh, that's
No,
right.
nothing,
we need to
nothing,
have Franny eventually explain what she thought actually
Oh,
happened.
yeah, you could just say
Right.
that out
But-
loud.
but
you don't
let
have
me-
to send secret coded messages.
Ooh, shit.
I
But,
didn't want to like awkward be like, should I explain what I thought?
No, yeah, you will.
But
But we need to clarify
I need to
this
say this real
piece.
fast. So the people who emotionally move you into doing things you don't want to do, they affect you, are called pushers.
Because they push you to do
But
things.
people who can move things with their minds are called pushers.
no,
called
people who can move
movers.
things with their minds are
Mover.
called movers.
Ah!
Does
I
that
hate
not make
this.
sense?
It does, but I think the terms would work better reversed.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? He
Because
emotionally is moving somebody to change their.
he's pushing them to do something.
It's like drug pushers.
Also, like the people who move things with their mind are not solely pushing them around.
Let's be fair. They wrote this out. You know, in their little book, they wrote about this, and I imagine that one existed before the other, and then when the other idea came around, they're like, "Well, I already gave the good name to the first one." Fuck.
But the fact that you were confused about this is crazy to me because there is a good 5 minutes of Dakota Fanning just explaining the way it works.
I know, but I've seen the movie a few times, so I stopped paying attention because I just assumed that I know what's going on. But
Well,
when
they
you
put it there for you in case you didn't, in case you don't. You're too dumb.
you know, it's
you're
funny.
too big a dummy to pick up on it.
You know, it's funny, but like this film, the whole time had inconsistencies all throughout,
Yes.
and you're sitting over there trying to explain them away. And
No,
then
I'm not.
Oh, yeah, it was always when I brought up the inconsistency. You're like, well, me. But when you found an inconsistency, I just had to accept it. Like, that's right, Madison's such a smart movie lady.
I am
All
a
because
smart
you're
movie
still
lady.
salty about misunderstanding what the Vanilla Sky comment was
I
about.
didn't misunderstand shit.
You did. You did misunderstand
You
it.
told me I was stupid.
I did not say that.
You said you didn't pick up on it.
No, I said you probably didn't pick up on it. And then
How dare you presume?
But you didn't. You didn't.
You
And
said
then
I'm too
the whole
dumb
point. No,
to pick up on it
I
when
didn't
it's
say.
a dumb
I
theory
didn't say
in
you
the
were
fucking
dumb.
first place.
The concept of what was happening was the dumb part. I didn't say you were dumb, but I did say you probably didn't pick up on it.
That's
and
because
no,
it's fucking stupid.
no one's arguing that it's
And
not.
I never tried to explain away the inconsistencies of this movie.
Vanilla Sky
If
is
anything,
trying
I
to
agree
explain
with
away
you.
Whenever I'd bring them up,
Why?
you'd be like, but blah, 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 blah. Every
I'm
time.
just trying to talk out the movie's internal logic. I don't think it's a good movie.
Okay.
Bridget, back me up here.
I'm not.
Back me up, Bridget.
Don't do it, Bridget.
You better fucking back me up. Just, I just wish that
Those
we could.
Cheez-Its were picked out of that line and
No,
put
they
into boxes.
Is that what you really think, or you're just saying that to get?
Okay, all jokes aside, I'm pretty sure Bridget's right.
No, she's not.
I think she is, yeah.
Why the fuck would they? That's the least efficient manner
But
of
like they
doing
have
that.
to do that anyway.
But they have
No,
to
they
throw 'em
don't.
away anyway.
You get boxes of
do.
Cheez-Its with toasty ones in there.
Not
yeah,
that
but
toasty,
like not
though.
everyone's perfect.
And you have to understand that
She's
even
so
if it's super
done.
commercial, it's hard to commercially cook that much food. Like, there's going to be issues where there's bird patches.
I
This
just
is
like
so fucking
felt
stupid.
Madison's eye roll over
She's
here.
It's
so
actually because I have
upset.
something in my eye right now.
But now, whether it's in favor or against me, it's time to speak your truth because I gave mine.
I really don't know.
Cheap.
Like, I am cheap.
cheap.
I'm cheap.
Wow.
wow.
Cheap.
You can
cheap,
take your
cheap.
cheeses and get the hell out of here.
All right. I'm going.
Bite.
But-
Yeah, so.
But no, I mean, I don't think this is a good movie. I think this movie is rife with inconsistencies.
Absolutely. Franny, please tell us what you thought actually happened in this film.
Oh God.
She fell asleep so much during it
Oh,
that
no.
I
she
feel like
actually
she fell asleep really early.
she
I
also
did
just
too.
wholesale left. She checked out. She checked out.
I was sleeping so much that I was like, I gotta go. But so I'm pretty sure Dakota Fanning is like playing this like weird emo kid that like can like push.
You
She's a
mean
pusher?
me in 6th grade?
She's a pusher?
Nope.
Well,
No.
I was pretty sure she was a pusher.
She's a
She
watcher.
wasn't.
She's a watcher.
Oh, she's a watcher. Yeah, she can see the future. And then she finds this one guy, Chris Evans, who is a
What is Chris Evans' character's name?
mover?
Nick.
Was that a question for the rest of us or for
She
Franny
finds-
alone?
She
Uh,
finds America's ass.
It was
and
really for anybody, but I thought
was
it'd be
Nick, yeah.
interesting if Franny would try to give her.
Oh,
answer.
I'm sorry. I just thought
I
you
was
were
looking
saying,
at you though, so because I don't know what you're doing.
Is
right
your
now.
eye okay?
I just have something in it, but I'm working it out.
But okay.
Are you going to make it? Do we need to pause the podcast?
We can pause.
No, I'm fine. Just okay, fine. We'll pause.
pausing?
Bye.
Okay, I'm alive.
Okay. Cool.
She's not blind
Yet.
So
yet.
Chris Evans is a mover,
Yes.
and his dad kind of did some sketchy ass shit. Got messed up with some sketchy ass people. Seems like maybe.
Sure. No, just let go. Remember, that's what we do.
And then so Dakota Fanning sees something bad. I don't know. I paused,
See something.
but she sees something bad happen to him. She sees those sniffers coming
Sniffers.
Ew.
coming to sniff around.
Ew.
There's these dog-like people, I guess, that come and go.
They just sniff through the articles of clothing and toothbrushes and things.
Which,
you got
okay,
laying around.
This is Franny. We have to let her
We
get through
have,
this.
I was
which
just agreeing with Franny's assessment
Okay,
of them.
that's fair. That's fair. I'm sorry.
we have, which the
I'm really excited for
sniffers
this.
reminded me about our dog Dwight, because he is a pug Boston Terrier mix, and to sniff things, he has to put his whole snoot on them
Schnoot.
and aggressively sniff them, and that's kind of what these sniffers did. So they come, they sniff around, they figure out that they've been there, then they follow them, then they keep following them. Then then there's these bleeders which don't bleed. They just, I guess they scream so high that people's ears bleed is like the whole thing. Right? I don't know. I saw them once scream and like windows like collapsed, I'm pretty sure.
We're standing in front of their laptop. Just
I also like the effects when they scream are very weird.
Yeah, they were
Correct.
like, which I remember Logan saying that they were wearing, like, we were talking about the sunglasses and how it was weird they're wearing them, and it's because they wear, like, weird-ass
I was wrong.
contacts. No,
It's
you're wrong?
just a fashion choice.
Yeah.
It was just a fashion choice.
Well,
They
double
did
check.
it at
Anyways.
nighttime, too.
They were fucking odd. I don't know what they were running from at all. Not sure. I guess the sniffers and the bleeders, but then they all start working together towards the end against somebody else.
Okay.
Keep going.
I guess.
right? Like they all
Put aside their differences. And
yeah, they do.
And
They-
work for the greater good.
yeah, I think
They all
against-
put aside their differences and decide to canvass for one Senator Bernie Sanders.
But yeah, they all work together towards the end. The sniffers, the bleeders, the screamers, all of them. And then
That sounds so
Not
gross.
all of them.
The bliffers, the scratchers, the
Oh,
sniffers, the
and then there's this
bleers.
other girl that I guess got shot with some black stuff and like shot up with some black stuff.
Black tar heroin,
yeah,
ladies and
black
gentlemen.
tar heroin. And
this
it's
movie's all
supposed to
about
kill
the
her.
effects of black tar heroin.
Wait
And-
a second.
She's like sitting in this bed looking like half dead, and then this guy comes up and like Chris Evans, America's ass, starts cuddling her. Right? Oh, she's like
Say
dying.
American's ass.
America's ass. Captain America. America's ass.
Right,
But,
but when I'm trying to figure out when you're talking about in the movie.
They're like in a bed and he's like laying there, then Dakota Fanning comes
She's
in.
like real jumping around, but that's okay.
And
because I
Dakota
did the
Fanning's
exact
like,
same
why are
thing.
you trying? The part where she's all
Doesn't
jelly.
she just jump in bed too? Don't they all just have a moment in bed?
That sounded.
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought so.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not, and it's really funny.
Trying to decide whether I play a soundbite of what you said, but I think that'd be wrong considering Dakota Fanning was 13.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah,
Gonna go to
I want to be clear that did not happen.
It did not happen
Dakota,
at all.
honey, I'm so sorry.
This kind of reminded me of Stranger Things. Just worse,
In what
right?
way? In
The-
what
Aren't they
way?
like
telekinetic
running away?
powers.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
like they're running away
I
from
thought,
the
get what you're
hospital.
saying.
I thought you meant like the character dynamics between
No,
them. Okay.
Is
I'm
Chris
saying
Evans like Hotch in that situation?
how they're running
Why did I say that
away.
so weird?
Hotch.
from
Why did I say
hospital
that so
people.
weird?
Who's
too.
Hotch?
I meant
from Criminal Minds? Hotch?
Special Agent Aaron Hochner
I
from
don't, know,
Criminal
I don't
Minds.
know why I said that and why I said it so weird. It was like, hot. I don't know.
You were, it was like Hotch.
Dang old brain fart.
Yeah, that's about
Were you
it.
trying to say Hopper?
No, I don't know what I was
He
trying
was trying to say Hopper.
Was I?
Yeah.
Because that's the name of the guy, the police
That's his
officer in
name.
Stranger Things.
No, I was trying to talk about that one dude who died in season 2. Bob.
Bob.
Spoilers
I don't know why
for
I was
season
trying
2
to-
if you haven't seen it. I'm so
I don't know
sorry.
why I said Hotch. I don't know why. But I thought I was thinking of him.
I just really like the
Samwise
sniffers.
Gamgee?
Yeah.
That's all I can think about is the sniffers.
The sniffers
He was
are
also
so
in Clerks
gross.
2.
He's also who?
In Clerks 2.
Yeah, he was also in that movie Rudy.
I don't know if I saw it.
He was in that movie Rudy. I forgot about that.
I
It's ages ago.
I went to a comic convention. I don't know if it was a comic convention. I guess it was. Or a comic expo was what it was called in the city. And he was there. And like he's Samwise Gamgee. Like, you want to talk to him about Lord of the Rings, but then like everybody was asking him about Rudy. It was bizarre.
Why would they say?
Not even
I don't
Stranger
know.
Things, but literally Rudy.
I think that was before he was in Stranger Things.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
many
okay.
moons
It was
ago.
it was years ago. What a weird time that was.
What a weird movie
time
this
the
was.
2010s were. Correct though.
Was that
The
the end of your
2010s didn't even. I mean, I really honestly don't remember much else. I know they're in Tokyo.
No,
They
weren't.
were in
They were
Tokyo.
not in Tokyo.
Nope.
They were in Hong Kong, baby.
Same thing.
Oh my god.
No,
You cannot say that. Mermaid pussy. Why does that belong there?
Because there's nothing more out of place to put there than the only other
They're
thing
like the same
is what
thing.
Franny
No,
said.
they're
They
not.
are like
They're
the same
not.
thing. Aren't
I
they
thought-
near the same thing?
No.
I mean, they're both in Asia.
I thought Logan was just gonna like turn up the music and then we'd just be done with this
I don't
podcast.
know. I don't know. I
We're
thought
crossing
they're-
into territory that I'm not super into. This is like when we watched Mother the other day and Bridget couldn't tell the actors apart.
No.
You did the same thing.
I know, I'm just playing, but it's
Oh
fun.
my god.
It's more fun to make fun of Bridget for it.
I
Yeah,
hated
that's
that.
about all I know
But
that
no, they were in
happened.
Hong Kong.
What'd you say?
I said I hated that.
Also, like the logic of
too.
this movie being in Hong Kong is so stupid. Like, since we're on the subject,
Did they shoot it in Hong Kong?
yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
I mean, we could check.
they
I
did.
mean, the
They
only thing I
probably-
know
They
about
also
Hong Kong
use very little like
is the buffet.
Oh my god,
Super Hong Kong
Franny.
buffet.
Shout out
just
to Super Hong
dogs?
Kong buffet.
No,
We
Super
just
Hong
talked
How
Kong
many
about
buffets.
super Hong Kong buffets do you think that there are in this country? There's probably multiple.
million.
Yeah, but they
this
know
is the
what
only one
city
that's
we're
super
in.
to me. This is the
Okay.
superest.
Logan
this
once
is
ate
doing
12
free-
oysters there.
No, I didn't once eat 12 oysters. I eat a minimum of 12 oysters every time
I
I'm
think
there.
it's weird to
Correct.
eat oysters at a Chinese buffet.
Are you coming for me right now?
I just think that's weird.
They're
I'm gonna
cheese
eat-
oysters.
I'm going to eat an extra oyster every time I'm there in solidarity against what you've just said to me.
Okay, I just don't like when I'm thinking like
Make that 14.
when I'm at a Chinese buffet, I'm not like, yes, I'm gonna get an oysters. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna eat half my body weight in crab rangoon.
Yeah, I eat that too. Crab rangoons, the teriyaki chicken.
Logan made fun of me
This is
'cause
a
I was-
fucking movie podcast. We need to move
No,
on.
wait. I was sitting at the table and I was deciding if I
You all
wanted
went to
another
Super
thing.
Hong Kong buffet without me too.
We go a lot.
We wanted to
But-
bring you, but you're always so busy.
And I said I want another
Sorry.
rangoon, and I said it like that, not meaning to say it like that. And the waitress walked by and heard me say rangoon.
Is that not how you say it? Crab rangoon?
Yeah, but
It
she said
is.
like rangoon.
Rangoon.
She's like, we're here at the buffet eating some rangoons. And I love how we're so, me and Franny are so not conscious of what's happening that during the coronavirus outbreak, we went to a Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet multiple times in 1 week and went to a shopping mall. We truly are just like, kill us, please.
Oh,
anyone.
one time at
Honestly-
this buffet, though, I saw a child drop the tongs to get some of the dessert on the floor and then put the tongs back into the buffet.
Oh my god, I really am not a big buffet person for that exact reason.
I love buffets.
I would go to buffets if children were not allowed to enter them.
They have such delicacies as cut up Pop Tarts at this buffet.
and over in their dessert section, there's also veggie fries and
Veggie fries and just
Goldfish.
goldfish.
Have we been to this one? I remember
No.
that.
Did it come with?
I remember when we were
I didn't know
when
the
we
one we
were
went
baby. Oh, okay.
to. I was like, I don't know this one.
I was like, I remember a day when you and me and Bridget quit her job that same day.
Yeah, she
I
sure
did.
did.
And then we went
It was
around trying
upsetting.
to find like podcast materials, like things for the audio
Yeah,
situation
it
that
did
we were
not
having.
sound this good back
No.
then.
This is before we like just sucked it up and did the thing.
Just did it, yeah.
But yeah, Bridget quit her job, and then we went to like several different stores looking for a specific cord that none of them carried.
That probably doesn't even really work or exist.
and like every time we went to a different store, they treated us like we were absolute idiots.
Correct.
It's so
Didn't know what the
The
fuck
guy
we were
at
talking.
Best Buy was like, they want something weird. Like, what the
He
fuck?
really
The
did
guy
say
at
that.
the guy at the Guitar Center was just like looking at us like, you dumb bitches.
He is wrong, though. I've
He
since
is wrong.
talked to him when we got this and was like, that would have worked, right? He's like, yeah, probably. So, there you go. It would have sounded just like our last shit, though, like in the earlier
Right,
videos.
yeah. But anyway, and then we went to a Chinese buffet because we were trying to avoid a certain person
Yeah.
who we did not end up avoiding.
I know. I feel so bad about that.
I mean, it was fine.
I avoided her in my sleep
Oh, true.
because I slept.
You didn't avoid her because she was staring at you guys the whole time.
I know. I was just
God,
making
I know which
a
person.
joke.
Played Magic the Gathering.
You sure did.
Um,
We sure did. We missed the February tournament, but we're gonna do the June. We're gonna get ready.
hell yeah. But anyway,
Push.
You had nothing to say. You got all the way to that buffet and then nothing. You said nothing about it. All the way there, climbed that hill, didn't drink from the fucking water. You just turned right back around.
I mean, it was
Found a
just,
youth. Fuck you. I like the adventure. We're gone. We're leaving.
I mean, what did you want me to say about it? We
I
ate
thought
there?
since you got all the way there, you'd have something to say about it.
I was trying to figure out if it was the same
It's
After
buffet.
I already told you it
No.
wasn't. You know, you
I don't
literally
know.
that was like a filler episode of fucking Bleach. You had nothing to say, nothing at all. We're
I don't
moving
know.
on.
I was just thinking about it. I mean, I think my point was that I think buffets are weird.
You already had made that point, Madison.
I think
Oh
the
my
best thing that came out of that
I
day,
remember when I
though.
was a kid, we used to go to Golden Corral with
Oh,
my
that's
dad
a-
like
That's a
once
turd
week.
right there, and I'll eat there every day if someone gave me the chance. I don't even give a fuck.
One time, this is the most white middle class thing in the world.
Oh no.
My dad had to give my brother I don't know if this is middle class. This is probably like the most, I don't know, it's just like distinctly white and suburban. My dad had to give my brother the Heimlich at a Golden Corral. And I think about that a lot. You guys have met my dad, so like you could picture him.
The boy's choking at the buffet. Somebody help this boy.
Hey, you want to know what he was choking on?
What?
You know it was fucking fried chicken.
I think about that when I look at your brother sometimes.
I really hope he doesn't listen to this.
I hope he does.
Oh, okay. I hope you're
It was
listening.
a long time ago. We all laugh about it. It's funny.
That's pretty good. I remember the first, because there was no Golden Corrals kind of by where I lived. And I kept seeing signs about the chocolate fountain.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
no.
I'm like, this sounds
Okay.
amazing. No, let me explain this story. Every day I was like, I want to go to the Golden Corral. And everybody would be like, why do you want to go there? I'm like, you have a chocolate fucking fountain, dude. I was thinking this was going to be, have I told you this story?
I don't know.
I was like, I would always be like hanging out with the boys, you know, me and the boys hanging out, no money.
How
And
old were you?
Like 16, 17.
Okay.
And I'd be like, guys, can we fucking please go? Like, I'd beg. I'd be like, please. And they'd be like, Logan, you're going to hate it. It's awful. And I'm like,
Was it when you moved here?
yeah. I would just turn to my buddy, Zane, if you're listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'd turn to him and be like, hey, Zane. He'd be like, yeah, what's up, buddy? I'm like, you know you love me, right? He's like, yeah, of course I love you. I was like, I need you to do something for me. He's like, what's that? I need you to help me experience Golden Corral and the chocolate fountain. And he's like, we're not doing that. And then finally the day came when I graduated. They have everybody go to Golden Corral.
Yeah, that's our big senior
And-
class trip is
and they-
Golden Corral, and then they lock us in there for like 3 hours,
The huge meme
and
was
they
that.
won't let us leave.
The huge meme was that I was like a kid going to Disney World. I was gonna show up with like a Golden Corral t-shirt on, like, woo, chocolate fountain! And I got there, and the fucking chocolate fountain was down.
Oh my
No
God.
chocolate fountain.
I do want to say this though. If you have ever eaten a marshmallow dipped in the Golden Corral chocolate fountain, you are immune to the coronavirus. You can't get it. That's God's vaccine right there.
I finally had it. I finally had it when me and Franny went, and she got a little Rice Krispie boy and dipped it in there,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I
That's the
spit
thing.
it out. I literally went, "Ugh, that's fucking horrible. And you gotta understand, at this point, like, I had the Golden Corral breakfast stuff. I knew it was
The
bad.
breakfast? I've never had Golden Corral
I
breakfast.
had the
actually.
breakfast
I only
because
ever
of
went for dinner.
the high school breakfast
Yeah,
thing.
they have us come early, and it's mandatory. If you don't go to Golden Corral for 3 hours, you cannot walk at graduation.
What?
Then you have to go to school that
Yeah,
day
you have to
instead.
go to school, and if you skip both, you cannot walk at graduation.
So let me just say something. I had the Golden Corral breakfast. Less than good. Their sausage tastes like it was boiled.
It probably was.
Let me finish. Was boiled in a pond. Okay?
It might have been.
and the biscuits,
the biscuit.
doggy biscuits. Bad.
This is
Bad
an
doggy
anti-Golden
biscuits.
Corral podcast,
Bad doggy
bitch.
biscuits. And then I was so fucking excited. I'm like, chocolate fountain, bitch. What up? Like, I'm like so happy. Everybody's getting like cotton candy handed out to them. I'm like, fuck your cotton candy. Get the fuck away from me. I'm gonna go to this chocolate fountain. It was closed.
Wow.
And then me and Franny go to Golden Corral. I'm so excited. I'm literally beaming. I'm
Oh,
not
no.
telling her because like everybody always makes fun of me for it. So I'm like, I'm not gonna tell her because like I don't. She always makes a big deal out of first times too. She always gets all cutesy about it. I'm like, no, just get out of my way, my chocolate fountain. And I try it, and I don't know if you ever knew how disappointed I was.
I didn't.
Well, there you go. Anyway, push.
Oh Lord.
Oh, might I add that also the chocolate fountain was advertised to me as one of the 7 wonders of the world.
What?
Man, isn't it? Isn't it though?
I feel lied to.
So anyway, this message has been brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral, thanks for sponsoring. I'm just kidding. They don't sponsor us, and they
Choking
never
on
will after this.
Chicken at the
Especially
buffet.
after you called their chocolate fountain with the marshmallow the fucking coronavirus vaccine.
And that's a good thing. They've
And like-
immunized-
And like, if
immunized-
you drop and die, like, you know, it wasn't meant to be. Natural selection.
But did you get the coronavirus? No, you did not. You died right there before it was ever a thing.
You choked
then
on
you're immune
chicken.
in the weirdest way ever.
Correct.
It's like, hey, you're no longer, bullets won't affect you anymore.
You're right.
One time
You
I was
died.
at Golden Corral and I picked a plate and it was dirty, so I put it down and I kept picking plates and they're all dirty until like fucking like 6 down.
I've done that too at a Golden Corral.
That's just what it's like
That's
to be
why
at a
you
Golden
gotta.
Corral.
That's why you gotta
dude.
go to Ponderosa because it's that,
I
but
miss
there's a smoking
Ponderosa.
section.
How
I
can
don't
there
know.
be a smoking section?
I don't
What
think there is
in
anymore.
what state do restaurants
No,
still
no.
smoking
It's not. It's not still a smoking
Kentucky,
section,
you
but
still
it smells
can.
like one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, in Kentucky, and
Kentucky, you
Indiana,
still
I think you still
can,
can.
yeah.
Can you really?
I
didn't
think
know that.
I know in Indiana you can because
Kentucky, you can. I looked it up recently.
there's someone I hate who I used to be in a relationship with that works at a diner in LaPorte, and there's a smoking section in there.
Wow.
and it smells fucking horrible, and
I
the
bet
food's
it
bad. Fuck your diner.
Anyways,
way.
push.
Anyway, push.
Undercooked chicken they gave me could have died.
Anyways, push.
Ew.
The sniffers.
Yeah.
Tell me more about
Man, the thumbnail,
sniffer.
like the timestamps would be so fun for this one.
A brief sidebar about Golden Corral.
Did you all like my one on I don't remember which video it was, but I talked about the brief tangent to
On
like
Glee.
no.
A brief
No?
tangent on Glee,
I mean,
right?
yes, I had that one too, but like I did one that like it was just you guys like taking a brief tangent to degrade my childhood hobbies.
Oh, no, I
yeah.
didn't see that, but that's hilarious.
I want to
I mean,
actually.
this is another childhood
read
hobby
that-
that we're degrading. This whole movie.
I read that and I was offended because I feel like I
Yeah.
embraced your childhood.
You did. I
felt
was
like
just fucking
I
around.
put it on a spotlight.
Bridget's childhood stresses me out.
It really does.
One time, me and Bridget were in a Target or something equivalent to a Target, and we were like walking through the board game aisle, and we saw Candyland, and I think I was like, oh, I remember playing Candyland so much when I was a kid. And Bridget said, yeah, I used to play that by myself. And when I tell you my heart broke, it really did. Like, I was very upset. Isn't that the saddest? Isn't Bridget the saddest girl in the world to ever hold a martini or play Candyland?
Franny,
She is.
the multiple things you've told me that are the
I'm
equivalent of what
full
was
of
just
it.
said is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Someday.
the-
What's one you want to share? I don't want to say one and then you'd be like, how could you do this?
I slept in a bathtub.
That one was not what I would have said.
Oh my god.
Do you want to elaborate or just let it go? Because I kind of.
That's it.
Okay, good. That's
So push. Oh, but the point that we were on with the Hong Kong buffet is that
Jesus Christ! I thought we walked away from this.
no, about push is that there's like no reason for this movie to take
Oh, I thought
place
you
in
were
Hong
super
Kong.
Okay, I got you.
No, yeah, there's no reason for this movie to take place where it does. That's like one of my main qualms about it because like. So when Frani was describing him being mixed up with the wrong people, it's this government organization that wants to use these people as tools for the military called the Division.
He didn't get like mixed up.
No, they're trying
Thought
to
he
get
did some
him to
sketchy
use his
shit.
powers to help the government.
You'd say he got hunted down more so.
Right. And it's called the Division, presumably because they couldn't think of a better name. But what?
just came
What
for
kind of a stupid name is that? The Division?
Yeah.
So mover and pusher are fine in their context.
The Division made them up. Obviously, they're not the best at naming.
But they named you admit that they could have reversed it and probably been better.
I don't know that it would have been better. I think it would have been equivalent.
Isn't that even worse?
I don't know, but
it
anyway.
doesn't matter what you do, it's just the same shit.
But
It's
anyway, the
terrible.
idea is that like the people who are on the run from the Division kind of find refuge in Hong Kong for whatever reason. Like they're able to hide out there in Hong Kong.
It's also the U.S. government, presumably.
I mean, it's hard to say, but I think
I'm presume
There wasn't a single
or-
representative of the U.S. though involved in the government. There was a British guy and then a
Yeah.
guy from a different country that I don't want to try to guess.
so. Who can say? But
mean,
anyway,
I would go ahead and guess that it has nothing. I'd say it's one of those like UN kind of government agency deals where it's just like
yeah.
we
that's
everybody
probably-
motherfucker, we are the world government.
Well, and then like sort of, I guess the part of it in the movie is that there's the government is hunting for them, but then there's also like the Chinese like crime family that's also trying to get what they've got.
Are those the Bleeders?
I mean, the Bleeders are part of them, but I think that there's others too.
I mean, there's definitely a watcher mixed in as well.
Yeah, she's the girl with the sucker who, for some reason, sometimes speaks broken English, but other times speaks it perfectly.
Yeah, I pointed out in the movie, and then it got actually worse all
Yeah, it
throughout, where
did.
it would be like, "Tell me where they are," or "Tell who they be." Like literally,
It
like,
was
the worst
bad.
you've ever
So
fucking,
bad.
worst you've ever fucking heard. And then the next time, she's like literally like Rosetta Stone, like, "I'm speaking perfect English, thank you very much."
But yeah,
Thank you
like,
very much.
But the idea is that they're all able to hide out in Hong Kong. But this makes no sense because when I tell you that every character in this movie, except for the antagonist of the Chinese mafia, is a white person.
so whitewashed.
So like, why would you hide in Hong Kong?
Aren't the Bleeders not white?
They're part of the Chinese mafia.
Oh.
So like,
Logan just dabbed so he could eat a
Stop.
bugle.
so like, why would you pick a country in Asia for you as a white person to hide out and blend in. Like, wouldn't you stick out like a sore thumb? Like, oh, you're walking in this market. Many scenes take place in markets for whatever reason.
Chris Evans speaks fluent, perfect Mandarin.
Correct, he does.
This clearly studied Asian woman could not speak a lick of English, and then also is the best at speaking English ever. Just saying, this movie is like kind of racist.
I was looking at this movie on IMDb, and one of the pieces of trivia was that like the director sort of got the idea of all these people hiding in Hong Kong from the movie. Sounds so stupid. Casablanca. Because that's where all these like criminals hide out and take refuge in the movie.
Is there a pretentious douche out there that actually is comparing in some way his film to Casablanca?
It's this guy.
Sounds like Vanilla Sky with fucking Citizen Kane.
And he
Oof.
and he wanted to do things like without a lot of use of like CGI and stuff because that's how they did it back then. I don't know.
There's CG all over this movie.
They're green screens, I guess.
Those lens flares are CG. There's no fucking way.
I'm just
it's
reading
not.
it as the guy said it on the IMDb trivia. I don't know.
The guy is full of malarkey.
He is full of malarkey to think that this movie is anything close to Casablanca.
There's so much to talk
Ouch.
about. Okay, so right off the bat, they're weirdly sexualizing Dakota Fanning. I don't care what
I
anybody
don't know
says.
that I got that, but like
There was a moment where I was like, why the fuck are her legs so far apart when she's in a skirt? Like,
There's a lot of shots like on her lower body that were randomly zoomed in for no reason.
it felt weird.
It was
felt
weird.
a little weird.
maybe I was just willfully ignoring that.
Either that or you were just busy picking up on the other things and it slid over. Like, I didn't pick up
Yeah.
on literally the pusher versus mover concept. So the movie's pretty fucking scattered
It
and
felt
messed up.
so chaotic. Like the
It
whole
was just
time,
chaos,
It
and
just
it
felt
was
like
so
you're just
fast.
running.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
This film is like the opposite of Vanilla Sky and how it's bad. Although it gets to like being a different kind of bad later. This movie is fucking sprinting. It is running. It's like, if you can fucking latch onto one thing, good luck. Because we're going to explain everything. It's all going to happen in succession, and we're just going to be running throughout this whole film. It is exhausting.
The way that this movie tends to work is that like at the beginning of the movie, a character gives this big long explanation explaining the mechanics of this sort of universe. How she explains the different roles. So she explains what like a mover, a pusher, a watcher, or whatever is. And
you almost say a shaker.
I almost did say a shaker, yeah.
Which is just a lazy way of doing it. Just have somebody
So she
straight up
she
explain
explains
it all.
all of it. She explains why they're being hunted. She explains what
Hey,
the fuck's
Franny.
going on.
Let me interrupt you. Hey, Franny, do you know how Twilight starts?
I've never given much thought to how I would die, but dying in the place of someone I love seems like a good way to go.
But anyway, she explains the entire mechanics of this movie's universe and then explains what she has to do. And then it just runs and runs and runs at that until the movie reaches a point where it's like, okay, now we have to explain the next part of the movie. And then they just do that. And then it just sprints
And
toward
it's
the
convoluted
end.
and it's messy.
And if you think about it too long, it ceases to make sense.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna watch this movie and you wanna enjoy it, you can't think about it. You just have to like readily accept whatever they tell you. You have to be
you
like,
have to
all right then.
And you have to ignore things that they've already told you when they tell you something new.
Yeah.
You have to be like, oh, that thing they told me, that's in the trash now. All right, next thing. That's useless information. Here we go.
Yeah, so like I guess the idea of it is that they have to evade one of the watchers who
I'm not going to lie. You can keep explaining, but it is exhausting just beginning to listen to someone explain
No, I
it.
know, but like I guess she can see like I'm going to do it very briefly. I'm not going to go in detail here, but she can like see her ability to predict the future rests on like decision making. And so in order to evade her, they have to not decide to do anything. So they decide that what they're going to do is write themselves letters in envelopes, and then miraculously there's a wiper who can erase their memory so they
I
forget.
hate that it's called a wiper.
He's a windshield wiper, and he looks disgusting.
That's not even
for
the
no
wiper
reason.
that's gross. Like, there's so many different gross wipers.
And also, like, this
No
is
wiper,
weird.
no wiping.
I just want to say, if you've ever seen this movie, the man who plays the wiper, this man does not have a nose on his face. He has a face around his nose. It's like, it's a lot.
He's my favorite Pokemon, Nose Pass.
He's all nose.
1000% nose.
But anyway, and then
He looks like a. Ooh, I better be careful with my adjectives here. He looks like a version of Lemony Snicket's. You know, like that guy was Count. What's his name? Count Olaf.
Count Olaf. Yeah.
Very. But I was gonna use adjectives, but I'm like I gotta be careful not to be racist, so I just let it just be Count Olaf.
Okay.
Well, because I'm trying to do it, but they could. I guess long fingernailed Count Olaf. Like, how do you make it
his
sound
fingernails
fun?
made
I
me
think
so
Count Olaf
uncomfortable.
also like famously had long fingernails because he was like a very
See, that's my
Who
point,
is
though.
Count Olaf?
The only different. That's what I'm
What?
saying. He's such a distinct reminder of that.
I'm sorry,
I can't
what?
find any adjectives that are different enough
Franny,
without
what?
sounding like it's a race thing.
Who is Count Olaf?
from a
I'm
series of unfortunate
having an
events.
aneurysm right now.
I've seen that, but who is he?
He's
That's
the
the
guy.
villain.
It's Count Olaf.
He's the
Oh.
guy.
I think I just forget
the
the
Jim
whole
the
movie.
Carey, the dang old the Neil Patrick Harris. That guy.
The Neil Patrick Harris is your superior. I just want you to know that.
Oh, you like his better? I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
It's good.
I agree.
I like it a lot. I read all those books when I was a kid. But anyway,
I like how
I wasn't
little we.
allowed to read them.
I like how Push was so hard to understand that we
you
just.
doing that is going.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'm just letting
But
you
I
know.
was just saying, I was fidgeting. I like
Do that
how
again.
Push was so hard for us to understand, so exhausting that we've talked about everything besides Push.
I'm trying to talk
But
about
I
it.
think the thing is, it's so inherently boring.
It was great to nap to.
so boring.
Bridget,
then-
what did you used to love about this movie? Tell us the
that's a
nostalgia
really good
part.
question.
I would love to hear that.
I don't know. It was sci-fi. It was fast.
You
I
were
had to
also a
go
little emo
fast.
girl.
I was also a little emo girl. I feel like maybe I related to Dakota Fanning in that.
You're
I
like,
thought
wow, nobody understands me, and I'm just a kid, and I know
Life is
more
a
than
nightmare.
people think
No one-
that I do.
People think my drawings are a certain way, but I think they're this other way.
Oh, also the drawings were fucking weird.
I liked them.
There's a banana in one, wasn't there? A
There you
banana
go.
in one.
I mean, like I liked them in concept. I don't know if I would hang them on my wall, but I liked them.
There
in
was a
concept.
banana in one. I
But yeah, I mean,
fucking swear.
she's just like, no one understands me, and like,
And then Chris,
I know a lot of things, but nobody wants to trust me because I'm just a kid.
And then Chris Evans
my
got like
mom.
molested
What?
when he was waiting for that girl outside of the bathroom, and then he's like, "You're the dude takes
Oh
off."
yeah.
And then she wills him to come in there, like,
because
Yeah,
she
he
can
pushes
push.
him.
She makes him think that
Whatever,
she makes
yeah.
him think that the bathroom's on fire, so he like busts in there.
yeah. And then she's like, "No, actually, I just wanted you to hit this," and he's like, "Whoa."
And like,
do
how do
I
you,
want this or do you want
right?
this
It's
or
like,
is
how
it
do you
both?
know that he's not pushing you right now?
Mhm.
It's very weird.
I didn't like it. It
Yikes.
felt
It's-
yikes to me.
it's
Yeah.
rapey.
And like, imagine if the roles were reversed. We would
Ooh.
certainly see that as fucking weird.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay.
Yeah.
And then also I'm not going with him. No offense. That's okay. I know you're sweet on the champ. What the fuck was that? What was that? What was that? I know you're sweet on the champs. Yeah. You get what you fucking deserve.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Oh no, this is so bad.
So much about this movie.
And like, I don't care what you say. I know we went through this argument already. Him making that ball was inconsequential and stupid, and I hated it. It was just to show that he existed. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
They could
and
have
then
went. They could have just as easily went and went. Here's a picture of a pebble. You have this.
There's also this scene which was really weird to me, and I don't think we talked about it enough when we saw it. But there's a point where, so everything is being set into motion by Dakota Fanning's mom, right?
Yeah,
Because
which we
Dakota
don't really
Fanning's
see.
mom
really.
is like the best watcher ever, so she's foreseen all of this, and she's known how to make the events unfold.
She's
in
like
order
the
to
Goku of watchers. Like she's the fucking best. And it's we don't get to question it. We don't even get to see her abilities.
right.
It is a written in fact. This lady is the fucking best.
awesome.
She will not be tested. She will not be seen. You need to accept it. She's your Lord and Savior.
And so, like, everybody knows her, and everybody owes her a fucking favor, and she's coming to collect, bitch. So there's this woman who is what do they call them? A Stitch?
Oh yeah.
I forgot
So
about
these
that.
are like these are healers.
You mean Lilo and Stitch?
Stitch, my sister's leopard gecko.
Just like Lilo and Sniff.
There are so many different classes in this movie, though.
Yeah.
It's so chaotic.
It's like a homebrew game of D&D where your DM doesn't know what's going on and can't
No,
help.
I was saying that I feel like we should do a game of D&D with
These
these
are the
classes.
classes.
No.
I'm in. Let me DM.
Hell yeah, let's do
I'm
it.
so
Let's
hungry.
do
to,
it.
I haven't
I
DM'd
keep
a game
telling
in
you
so
I
long.
want to do it, but like I don't know how you gotta run it.
Yeah,
I mean, I know how. I can do it.
I'm in
Well,
it.
I know you know how.
But I'm saying, like, we can get characters. I can even, if you guys don't want to make the characters, I can
No, I want to
pre-make
make my character.
I want to make my character.
Dude, we can
too.
do this whenever. When it's,
Okay, but hold on, because I
Pause
want to
the
talk. I want
podcast,
to talk
we're
about
going.
this.
We gotta go, guys.
We gotta do it.
Gotta go do this right now. Sorry.
So Dakota Fanning's mom has set them up with this healer because she knows that Chris Evans is gonna get hurt, and so she like heals him or whatever, and it seems fine. Like it seems like their relationship is a little tense, but like it doesn't really. It's not really anything. She just heals him. But then they interact again when she's trying to get this case that Chris Evans has, like a literal case, like it's got something important in it. What it is doesn't really matter. But she's trying to get it, and then she can unheal him, which is kind of interesting as a concept. I don't like know what that means, but
Hurting
like,
him.
Like can she? But like
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know
but
what you're
can
saying.
she like
His
can she
name was
like give
Archie.
you the chicken pox you had back in the 3rd grade? You know.
I don't know.
Like, can she unheal you that way?
Well, I think it's different, like just chickenpox specific. They're not categorized as chickenpox when you're older than they're shingles. She can't give you something
She
you
can
didn't
give you
have.
shingles.
She can't because you never had shingles. You had
Okay,
chickenpox.
whatever.
Bada bing!
The mumps.
The mumps. Can she
Disgusting. I
give you
hate that
back
word.
crabs? Like, can she manifest crabs and give them back to you? She gives you back lice. Like,
she
LOL, loser.
She can give you a herpes flare up. And you got cold sores.
She re-breaks your leg. Just whoosh.
But anyway, so she comes and she like starts unhealing Chris Evans, presumably just to get what he's got because she needs it and wants it.
Yeah.
But then other people bust in that she's working with, and then they try to kill him. These are the bleeders who like just scream and you die.
I hate that expression.
Yeah, but then,
Bleeders is getting more and more.
but then
it's
she
getting more harsh on the ears
It's
as we say it.
unsettling.
but then she looks at them and goes, "No, he dies slowly," and it's just like, why?
That's working. Like, what did he even do?
Yeah,
He
like
said
like
that,
these
he said something
characters.
like I was promised that.
Yeah, you're right. That is a weird moment where she's like oddly fucking angry at her for angry at him for no reason.
Yeah, and like these characters have relationships that we don't really understand. It feels like scenes got removed from this movie.
Yeah, why does Chris Evans even give a fuck?
Because okay,
Because
there's
the
actually
flower?
a reason.
Because
yeah.
that's a bad reason. That's a bad credit card
Okay,
of a
listen.
fucking cantrip.
A lady told his daddy, and this lady was Dakota Fanning's mama, that when a girl gives little Chris Evans a flower, he has to help her. And before his
But
daddy
what about
died,
all the other times he might have been handed a fucking flower in his life?
maybe it's never happened to him before.
But you have
Maybe
to
he
think
helped
about.
every single person that's ever handed
Right.
him
Yeah,
a
like
flower.
somebody's on the fucking street corner and they're like selling roses, and he's like, "That's tentacle."
he's like, well,
I guess you're my life goal. Janine.
also, like Chris Evans in the beginning of this movie is deeply in debt to these like Chinese
Oh yeah.
bookies.
Before he even goes to like run away from paying from them, they wholesale kick him in the face before he even has a real reaction.
Do they ever come back to that even once?
No.
So they like he plays like street dice, right? I don't know if it's like really
It's-
craps or whatever, but
Is it? I don't think it's craps. I think it's going for the snake eyes thing. What is it?
I don't know.
I think it's 7 and 11, right? Is that craps?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But he's playing like dice on the street, and he's attempting to use his powers to turn the dice so that it lands where he wants it to land, and he'll win.
And he's such
And
a Melvin.
he cannot successfully
Yeah,
do this.
He's such a fucking Melvin. He can't turn a dice. Something that
But-
I could do by blowing air onto it.
But then suddenly, at some point in the movie, it's like a switch is flipped, and he suddenly has complete mastery of his powers.
He literally is
He's
like equilibrium and shit. Like his guns are floating above
Yeah,
him.
he's like able to control his guns and like point them at people's heads and shit, and like move shit around and like lift people and stuff. And it's like, where did you get this from, dude?
And it looks really terrible.
It looks bad, yeah.
Oh, it
And they
looks so
do this. They
bad.
do this floating gun trick so many fucking times.
Like the first time you're like, oh, that's pretty cool, and then the second time, you're like, yeah,
And also, like,
seems like it'd be easier to carry the gun.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, couldn't somebody just swat it out of the air? I mean, I guess you're holding it there, But still, it's like, wouldn't it be easier just to carry it? Wouldn't you have a little bit more control over it?
And then there's a whole thing where it's like clearly powers are not something where it's like, all right, I turned my cruise control on. Like
Right, like, what if
they're
somebody-
a constant need of concentration.
Like, what if somebody just runs at you and breaks your focus and then you drop your guns? That's
what
not
if
gonna
like
happen if
what
you
if
held
like
them in your
somebody just
hands.
grabbed his dick or like made him
my
feel
God.
no, like let's say somebody does something like they pants him. Something really that's like not only physically altercating, but something that makes you think like, what the fuck? The moment you're like, what the fuck? The guns are out of the air, bitch. You're dead. You're
Also,
dead.
there's a character who can use his talents as a mover to stop bullets, which makes no sense to me.
Okay,
Because you can't erect a force field around yourself. You have to react to the individual bullets.
which means he's actively I made this argument, but I
Okay.
don't think it's true. But it's something they could say. He's force pushing, whatever you want to call it. I know it's moving. I'm calling it force pushing because that's what they fucking stole
Okay.
it from. He's pushing the bullets back into the chamber, but him trying to push it is being pushed back on. Like he doesn't have the strength to stop it completely, and that's why it's stopping halfway.
I mean, I guess, but then there's
But-
times when they're coming at him from multiple directions, and that seems like it would be.
But he's still
An
pushing. But
impossibility.
there's only 2 guns that are being shot at him, so
yeah.
he can. So it actually makes more sense that way. But then the director didn't know that.
It was just really an excuse to do lens flares.
Yeah, which it's you would have swore J.J. Abrams as like a 13-year-old boy directed this
It's
movie.
like rife
It is
with a
loaded
lens
with lens
flare.
flares.
There's so many.
There are so many oh my glasses moments in this fucking movie. It's ridiculous.
So, like, Bridget, I want to ask you, and I want to ask the group actually this. When you were a kid watching this movie, which power did you want? And now, as an adult, what power is the best?
I don't remember what power I wanted.
I bet you wanted to be a watcher like little Dakota Fanning.
Probably.
You wanted to have a little pink streak in your hair and get Chris Evans, be all hot for Chris Evans in a weird, creepy way.
Yeah, probably. Or
Just like, yeah, okay.
A pusher. I thought that the
Push
chick.
Chris Evans.
You want to
No.
push him some type of way,
I think you might have wanted the.
No.
Probably more Dakota Fanning.
Push it.
I don't
the fact
remember.
that this movie did not include Push It by Salt and Peppa is a crime.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
And now I feel like I want to be if I had to choose. I feel like I'm kind of
Sometimes it feels like. But it's watching me.
But if I had to
I
choose
like to
right now.
Move it.
You're
Oh
like,
my god.
Who was the other one? There's got to be a sniff one out there. Give me a second. You keep going. I'll think of it.
I think I would want to be a shifter,
It
which
just
is
smells
where
like
you
Teen
can.
Spirit. Dun, 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 dun,
You'd want to be a shifter? What did a shifter
Hello.
They make things look like other things,
do? Oh.
only for a certain amount of time.
So a cool thing that
Oh, like the dollar bill thing?
yeah,
Yeah, where it wasn't
money
even real
thing?
dollars. He
Yeah.
was just.
but it changes after a while. It's not permanent change. You
That
gotta-
could be problematic.
I mean, you got to get out of there before it goes back.
No, like, just think about like, here, I'm gonna give you a Q-tip, and it's actually like a I don't know, a fucking horn or something.
A horn. What kind of horn?
You know, like a bullhorn.
I mean, I think you can use the.
I just wanted to think of the weirdest thing I could.
Fine, go to that.
You know, I also got asked this question. I didn't get the chance to answer it.
Same. We
Bridget
all
was
got
still
asked.
answering.
She was still answering.
She told us the answer.
She was explaining something.
And then Bridget was asking what a shifter was. You're acting like you're getting slighted.
I was
I'm-
asking what a shifter was.
I feel like the bullhorn was a perfectly normal answer.
But
But that doesn't answer the question you were asked.
the thing about the items when they get changed is that they actually are that item. I don't think they don't just look like it like that for that time. Like all extents and purposes for the amount
Wait,
of time.
hold on. What did you say? All extents and purposes?
All expenses paid, baby.
All
Didn't
intensive
confirm.
services.
All interior designs included.
Published author Bree here.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's all intents and purposes.
That
Sorry,
was
go
how
on.
my brain's working right now.
All intents and purposes.
Yes, correct.
All incense and purportedness?
Or as this girl I talked to at work for once said,
No.
all incest tents. I can't think of another word after that, but I really wanted to bring that up. Anyway, continue.
So essentially the item that you've turned into a different item for the small time that it is an item, which is not ever clarified. We don't know how long
It's just a
essentially-
count
like-
of 10.
I'm just picturing that Neil deGrasse Tyson meme where it's like staring in space.
Or like, so you know how Dakota Fanning's mom is like the best watcher, is like the best shifter, the ones whose items stay for like
Ever.
yeah. Or for longer times, like you're a shit shifter if you change back like the next minute, but like
But you're
there's
never
some-
getting recognition because everybody would just believe what you're doing. You know what I mean?
right. But there's some dude who's like his shit stays shifted for like 2 years.
Wow.
Sorry, go on. I was just thinking about that.
Never mind. It's fine. I was mostly done. It's the item.
So Logan, what would you want to be?
Okay, mine is a complicated answer, but it's the real answer.
Oh Lord.
So the gentleman, the African American gentleman who is the leader of like the division.
He's a pusher.
Yeah.
I'm a pusher, Katie. That's what I do. I push people. That's a little Mean Girls reference for all you
I love Mean
teens out
Girls.
there.
Anyway, I wanted to be just him because I loved Never Back Down, and he was the best fucking character in that movie. And I was always like, he's like 40 and like he's fucking cut, and like he's super talented, and women find him like amazing. And I'm like, I want to be that dude. And then I realized that I was a middle class white boy wishing I was a tough black man, and I was like, am I a stereotype right now? Maybe. But he's such a gentle soul too. He's such a nice guy.
Such a gentle soul.
Never Back Down made me cry for sure. So when I saw him in this movie, I was like, oh, it's that guy. Never learned his name. Still don't know.
And then you were like, why are you in this movie?
Yeah. I was a little bit.
Franny, what would you be?
Wait, he didn't say what he wanted to be now.
That's who I. Oh, what do I want to be now?
Well, I mean, he never saw this movie when he was a child.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
I sure did. Yeah.
I just thought you saw it when you were older.
No, I saw it when I was a kid too. I saw it in theaters, I believe, actually.
Oh, wow.
What
And
do you
then
want to be now?
I didn't see it again until I eventually worked at Family Video. I was like, oh, I remember this movie, and then I saw it. I was like, you don't know this, but I just made
Wait, you worked where? You worked at what video store? You said it.
It's the only video store left.
I know,
Family
I'm just
Video.
playing.
You guys fucked me, okay? You paid me $11 an hour to be a store manager. You sucked. Anyway.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Daxing him.
Yeah. 46 hours a week. $11 an hour. No overtime. Didn't get paid for the last 6 hours because legalities. Anyway.
Damn.
What I want to be now?
The sniffer?
No. No, not in this household. These dogs, I don't want to sniff that shit.
You and Dwight can just sniffle around together.
I think I'd want to be a bleeder because then I can reinvigorate my death metal band I had in high school and
Oh,
really
God.
Oh, Lord.
really do it, people.
Bring the death to that metal.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Also, like, I want to see, like, because the Rodecaster has, like, a level, like, challenger, like, where it, like, makes sure when we scream it's not too loud.
Mhm.
I want to see if it, like, would work. Just one time, just beep, and see if it actually works on it. I'm done.
Okay, so I never saw this as a child, so I'll just go off of what I want to be now. I mean, a part of me wants to be a sniffer, but just for the meme of it. But I think I'd actually want to be a mover because you can just sit on the couch and have the snacks come to you.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Can you do that as a pusher as well? Just in a totally different
That's
light?
what I was going to say. I think I would choose to be a
Ooh.
pusher because pushers can do all the other things.
Yeah, shocking.
Really?
You choose to be the manipulative.
Wow.
Just going as I see.
I'm just playing like that. That's not really my pick, but that is like the most overpowered option.
For sure. Yeah.
Because you can just make anybody do anything you want. So you can make somebody heal you. You can make somebody. The only thing you can't do is see the
Okay.
future.
I like that then.
It's pretty much
I
like
see
But you
that.
can control the future
when
because
you
you can
play
make people do
the
shit.
Avatar games and like they're like, do you want to be like Aang or like? It's like no, you don't want to be. You don't want to be Katara or whatever her name is. Katara. Is that
She can
it?
only do one thing.
Yeah, you're gonna be Aang. You're gonna be Aang.
I always was a fan of Toph. Toph?
Toph, I
Toph.
think.
I didn't finish. I'm sorry.
The little airbender girl. Or no, not airbender, earthbender. I'm sorry.
Earthbender.
Oh, the blind one.
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
she was cool as
Yeah.
fuck.
She's
She's
cute.
pretty lit.
But no, I think actually my real pick would be the Stitch because I just like the concept of unhealing someone and like what could that look like? But also healing them too is cool.
Yeah, you would do it and then just be like, anyway, my bad.
The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away.
Okay. What else is there to say
You
about
being
this
the
movie?
Lord.
Is there anything
Wait.
else to say about this
Oh.
movie?
I don't know.
Are we gonna rate it? Is it time?
Well,
or are we still going?
I don't have anything else like pressing.
I really think the things I want to bring up is there was moments where the half the movie was flashbacks of shit we already saw.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it was through through the editing and like the video choice of like if you've ever seen Nickelback's music video for Photograph, all of these horrible moments like somebody getting stabbed. It's like look at this graph. It was like all yellowed out and looked like a bad picture.
There was like
And all the like aesthetic choices, like all the colors and everything, it was just bad.
There was like a site that we used to use when we were kids, and it was like it was basically like a webcam, like you could take pictures, like selfies with your like computer's webcam, but they had like different filters on it.
Ooh.
And then you could just download them and save them.
Ooh.
It looks like one of those. And also I'm like, where did my pictures go?
There's somebody out there with all that info.
Hoo-hoo.
Yeah, that's how I feel about like, you know, all the times I went on Omegle and wasn't creepy and just wanted to make friends. I just think about like, where are those people right now?
What a good question.
That stresses me the fuck out because I used to make
Guillermo, if you're out there.
Guillermo.
I'm not kidding. And I as to be a dick, I'd always pronounce his name Gorilla Mo because he hated it.
Franny, are you
I miss
alright?
you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm good.
You were nodding off a little bit.
I miss you, Guillermo. Gorilla Mo.
I guess talking about Bush also puts me to sleep.
Fuck you.
The only thing I want to say is I want to tell this little story.
Yes.
About 6th grade me after watching this movie like probably 3 times because I had strep and I was out for like a week or something crazy.
I could unheal you and give you strep again. I can put your tonsils back in your throat, bitch.
My tonsils were never removed, so
I'm not talking about you specifically, but that's the stuff. The shit that
And here's your appendix. And now it's gone.
Oh yeah.
No, it's
hey,
gone.
hey, bitch, you want your gallbladder? Here it is. Hey, you want that cancerous growth we took out of you?
Here you are.
You got it back.
Hey, I heard you like diamonds, so I gave you back your gallstones. Anyway, people make jewelry out of that, by the way.
Oh, ew.
Gallstones and kidney stones.
I'm implanting every baby tooth you ever lost back into your mouth. Your wisdom teeth, they're coming back, baby.
That'd be awful.
Oh man. Imagine reverse teething.
I would rather not.
It would be so bad.
Okay, so
I hate that.
I do too.
I've had so much botched dental work that I feel like it's pretty much
she has dental work like she did it at the Buffett. Like she really does. It's not good.
I got some real jack jobs on my teeth, and
I had a dentist that was that like kept telling my parents I had cavities, and I never had cavities.
Cavities. You got no actual cavities.
And like, so I would come into the dentist, and he would just like, I don't know, pretend to do the things, and I didn't know any better because I was a child.
Wait,
and
he was ripping off your parents?
I think so.
Holy shit, that's actually really striking and crazy. He was pretending you had cavities, and then when
I'm pretty sure
you'd come back. They wouldn't see what he was doing, and he would just like pretend
I
to
don't
fix
want
it.
to like lie. I want to call my mom right now.
Call her.
Should I call her on the show?
You know what? Actually, hold on. I think you can connect to the
Can I really?
broadcaster. Yeah.
This is crazy. This is happening.
Go to Bluetooth.
Okay, hold on. I want to confirm it.
just like how you guys
The roadcaster. Okay, here we go.
made me confirm that I actually went to a
Okay, it says I'm connected.
Aaron Carter concert
You are.
in a limo.
Okay, so I'm gonna call her right now. I hope she answers. It's midnight.
She's gonna be pissed.
Oh, this is so weird. I can hear her.
Yeah,
It sounds so good.
I know.
Didn't you hear all of us?
Yeah, they should be able to hear everybody.
Oh God.
Hey,
Hey,
did I wake you up or anything?
I'm in bed. Yeah, what's up?
This is such a random question, but didn't I have a dentist that was like scamming you guys, and he later got arrested?
Yes, he was doing that with everyone.
Yeah. So can you tell me about it? Like, what was he doing?
He would just tell all of the patients that more work needs to be done, like there was a cavity or whatever, and then he would say that he wanted to have you come back so that you could monitor it and then schedule the repair work or whatever later down the line. And so he was having people do all that to make more money, but he in most cases, there's nothing wrong with the
That is insane.
patient. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that actually happened.
What?
Yeah.
That's
That
what I
is-
thought. Okay, well,
That is so wild.
that was all I wanted to know.
Thank you.
Honey, you're welcome.
Wow, she got so much nicer. Like, you got your voice changed when he came on the phone. That's so funny.
It did not.
It did.
No, it didn't.
Mm,
We appreciate you. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
thank you. I love you. That's it.
love you, babe.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
That's insane.
So, yeah.
What the fuck? That's so much crazier than anything else we've talked about. So this man.
Yup.
Okay, what's so much wilder is that means that you would be put to sleep. So in some cases, you'd be put to sleep. There'd be people waiting out in the waiting room. They're like, "Oh my god, my poor little boy or girl or whatever it may be."
No, she was fine.
And he's just sitting there like talking to like his assistant, like, "Isn't this fucked up?" And like pretending to like fuck with your teeth. Like he's holding like a fucking like Bic pen. And he's like, "Oh, here I am. I'm getting it right now." What a fucking asshole.
Yep.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that he did get arrested.
That is crazy.
I hate the dentist too.
I
wonder
bet you've
why.
had some,
Yeah, I'm about to say you probably
I
have some.
trauma.
I don't really remember it, but like I remember it
That's so
happening.
funny, dude. That is so crazy.
I mean, like I was pretty young, but I don't think I don't think I've ever had a cavity.
But now you'll never believe if you do or don't. It's a
Right.
fucking conspiracy theory.
I'm also like.
Are you lying to me?
I also take like I'm very aware of my teeth. I brush my teeth more than like most people do. I think. And I'm like, is that why? Do I have this dentist trauma?
Yeah, I think you might. I think it might be that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Some people don't travel in airplanes anymore. You're like, fuck the dentist. I'm
Fuck
not
the
doing this
fucking
shit.
dentist. I'm not trust that shit.
Wow, that's so funny. That is literally so funny.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's so crazy.
I
That
was like,
blew my
yeah, and then
mind.
as I thought about it, I was like, that can't be real. I have to have made that up. So that's why I felt like I had to call my
Could you
mom.
imagine? We would have started calling you out on this podcast, like, and then Madison's got weird dentist propaganda. First there was cop propaganda. Now there's fucking dentist propaganda.
This is an anti-dentist podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please think deeply about your dentist choices.
Oh, fucking A.
I'm just saying that people survived without dentists for many years, many millennia. I'm just kidding. Please go to the dentist. It is
How
important.
long though? Like how long did they survive though?
I don't know. Your teeth are actually like very important. Like your teeth are very vital. Like a lot of
Correct.
things are affected by your teeth. That's a true fact.
Oh my god. I can't with
What were
this.
we talking about?
So we were talking about
I had a story.
Oh, we were talking about reverse teething.
Yeah. Bridget, we interrupted
Oh,
Bridget's story
God,
because the
I'm so
unhealing-
sorry, Bridget.
It's okay.
Please continue.
Okay. So when I was in 6th grade, I watched this movie like 3 or 4 times, like in a week, because I was homesick with the strep.
Wait, you were homesick.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were homesick.
You
No.
were sick at home.
Oh, you were sick at
Comma
home.
sick.
That's a t-shirt right there. Home, comma, sick.
But not an actual comma.
Just the word comma.
The word comma.
Home,
Yeah.
comma.
That's good. I like that.
So I was home, comma sick with the strep, and when I got back to school, I had watched this several times, and I got back to school, and my little ass was like writing stories left and right in 6th grade. I don't know. I would just like start one and be real into it, and like they'd be handwritten, by the way.
And you're like, I might be a watcher. I'm writing the future.
no, not quite. Actually, not even close. Also, fun fact about my writing, like my writing in middle school was I would write it on notebook paper because I didn't have a laptop at the time. And when my friends was like, that's not gonna, like, when you type it out, that's not gonna be like the same. You're not gonna have that many pages. And I got really upset. Like, I got really upset.
It didn't occur to you.
Yeah, not occurred to me. And so I started doing this thing where I would write in the smallest fucking print possible, so I could get
You're
as
literally
many.
like that fine print person. Like when somebody has like a promotion, it's like it's not a plan. Just
Yeah,
but that's your
that was
whole
me.
fucking book.
Correct. And so like I would like do 2 lines on 1 line of like the line notebook paper.
Good Lord.
It's bad. I have my mom still has kept many of my stories, and I
Aw.
could find one and bring it in if you would like to show the class. But
We should start calling our parents. Just everybody. Just like get on the.
I think my parents
Stop
probably would not answer.
My dad would be so excited to be on the podcast.
My
You
parents
have
would
no
be too,
idea.
I
Your
think.
mom has to teach America's youth in the morning. I don't think she wants to answer at midnight.
No, I'm not gonna call her. She'll be like, "Yeah, you did that. Why are you calling me?"
This isn't nearly as interesting as the dentist thing. Not that your story is interesting. I just meant like the writing in 2 lines.
Oh, to call her about. I was like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that your story is interesting. I just meant that like to call your mom like, did I or did I
haven't
not?
read your story, so it might not be interesting. I don't know.
The story she's telling right now.
Oh, that story. No, that one's
This
interesting.
one is interesting.
I thought you meant the one you were
She
writing.
told me it already, but I like where it goes.
Anyway,
Here we are.
so I got back from being ill, and I was like, I have to write this. I have to write the story, guys. I have to write this. And as a child, as a 6th grader, I would like start and abandon stories like no other. I would just like start them and be like, I hate this, and I just stop writing.
As if you don't do that now.
Shut up. And
Doxing everybody all the time.
Sorry. I doxed my dentist.
You did,
Ooh.
but fuck your dentist.
Yeah, he
fuck
deserves
your
it.
dentist.
Hope his teeth are rotting in prison.
Ooh. But I was like, I have to write the story. I have to write it. And so I'm writing it out, and I'm writing all the guidelines. I have a little like page of like terms
Oh no.
that'll be used in my story. And I thought I was so fucking original, dude. I thought it was so cool. And all I had done was like renamed the classes and push.
Oh god.
And I was like, hey, what do you think about my story? And I gave it to my friend, and she was like, I don't know. It seems a lot like
Do
that.
you remember
that
the
movie.
classes, like the spookies? Like, what did you
No,
write?
I don't remember.
Oh my fucking god! I would die to know. I would die to know what they were
I
called.
might still have it.
Oh my
the
god.
Slimies.
The sli-
The Slimies. The Screamers.
Yeah, the Screamers.
I think Screamers was one of them.
Oh my god, that was me
The
with my
Lookers.
I was a little screamer with my little skinny jean pant boys. That was one of those screamers.
Instead of the Watchers, the Lookers.
The lookers. Oh my gosh.
The looksies.
The looksies.
But
Peeping Tom.
The looky loose. What would another word? The cuddlers. I'm just trying to think of like effective words.
The Manipulators.
The manipulators, yeah.
The Gaslighters.
The gaslighters is actually a good one.
that was a good one.
But then you're thinking that it's a lighter that works with gasoline.
Instead of the sniffers, it's a taster or the lickers. They
The-
go around licking
the
everything.
smellers.
I don't even like the tasters.
The noses.
The nosers.
The nosers.
I just like the visual of them licking it instead of sniffing.
And also the thing in the movie is that they don't have to sniff it. They just do that.
They
Like
don't-
all they
Yeah,
really
it's
have to
proven,
do,
yeah.
To get, like,
all they really have to
pleasure
do is
from
hold
it.
it.
Yeah, or like run their finger around the glass for some reason.
But like, there's a scene where he smells this girl's lipstick, and
And he
he's
goes,
like, smell that. Like,
hell
she's
yeah.
been using that a while.
That's
like,
I'm
what?
gonna keep that for later. I think
need
you
to-
said.
Man, I'm gonna sit at home and just smell this.
Shove
on
it up
my
my
couch.
butt.
Whoa. He didn't say that. It's a
Hold
PG-13
on.
movie.
Do you
but
know anything about nuance? Is there any mystery to you? Everything has to be out in the
I
open.
love that about Franny.
Yeah, there's never.
I do too.
Nothing
Thank
is
you.
ever
She's like,
settled.
what was one of the classes the fuckers? Like, when, just like saying the most horrible fucking things all the
The
time.
canoodlers.
The canoodlers.
Canoe.
Because that's a double thing. Because they are canoodlers, but they're also like they fight people with canned noodles. Canoodlers.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But that's how that's another story of how 6th grade me tried to rewrite something that had already been written and do it badly.
I mean, to be fair, people make whole careers out of that. That's why there are
Yeah.
a million remakes these days.
And if you want a fan fiction written about you in the movie Push, all you have to do is go to our Patreon.
I think it's Warrior Cats.
Hey.
Is
Oh,
the,
no. There's a specific. So
Oh.
Warrior Cats is part of the tier system. But if you wanted to be specifically about Push,
Or any
we are-
other movie.
we are going to make an option
For that.
for that exactly.
So should we rate Push now?
I would like to rate Push eventually.
Can I
yes.
start?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Solid.
Fair enough.
Bridget, what do you rate it?
God, do you want to know my 6th grade
Yeah, I was
rating?
gonna
and
say.
what
yeah,
I'm
let's
now?
Yeah, if we
compare.
asked 6th grade Bridget, what would she say?
Like a fucking 10 out of 10.
Well,
Perfect
and
movie.
she'd probably say it like shyly, but also like kind of badassly, like it's 10 out of 10. Just turns her head.
She's like, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Like, there's
Fluffs up
this
collar.
movie Push.
I don't know if you guys. I mean, maybe it's too. I don't know. Maybe it's too underground for you to hear about it. But there's this movie called
And
Push.
she just
Anyway.
starts sniffing things.
Anyway, will somebody put in their Never Shout Never CD?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
I
that-
was
do you
actually
want to
not
watch Live
into it
Lava Live
yet.
on YouTube?
I wasn't into that shit yet.
Oh,
Did you
sorry.
did you watch Live Lava Live on YouTube?
Yes, I did.
I know you did. I'm looking at you, and I know your personality. And I'm sure
I
you
don't
were
know what the fuck
subscribed.
that even is.
You're like
I did
Mitchell Davis.
too.
Have you looked at him lately? He looks like
No.
me. I don't know if that's a negative or
What?
positive, but he looks like me. I'm taking it as a I'm
I
sure
don't
a
know
lot of
what
people
the
take that as
fuck you're
negative.
talking about right now.
Live Lava Live forever.
I don't know what that is.
Live Lava Live forever. You don't know what that is?
No, I don't know
Oh
what the
my
fuck
god!
that is.
And
If
then
you're
he
still-
made the bacon a cake.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, baking the cake. Yeah. I know.
Madison was the only one of us that didn't hit an emo phase.
My mom wouldn't let me.
Did you try?
I mean, you
I
kind of
didn't try.
you kind of hit it in college. You did like the colored hair thing. That's like a little bit
I
of
don't
it.
think that's emo. I think
That's
that
like
was,
you like dipped your little toe.
I mean, I just did it because I thought it was cool. It wasn't like an emo thing.
What's we were emo because we thought it was cool and we were emotionally imbalanced.
I was emotionally
I'm
imbalanced.
still-
I just didn't. Didn't.
You didn't outwardly show it.
Yeah, I didn't express it through my dress.
I mean, I had a faux hawk, so
I literally
I think about that sometimes.
I wore makeup. I wore trip pants and skinny jeans, band T-shirts, lip piercings, everything.
You had lip piercings?
I had lip piercing.
You can't even
singular.
tell now.
I know. Same thing with my ears. You can't really tell that I had earrings either, but you can kind of tell because
You can see a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little
exactly.
bit. Like I did never notice.
yeah, I was edgy. I was an edgy little boy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I also didn't really like the music. I didn't see the appeal.
Oh, but emo music.
Yeah, I just didn't.
I love.
it was good to be angry too.
My Chemical Romance. I'm so
Mhm.
happy you're back. I love you so much. It's so good.
My go-to was Sleeping with Sirens. I loved Kellen Quinn. I had whole tumblers
man.
dedicated to.
You know, Green Day spoke to me, and also as well. Green Day
Did
was
they?
great. Yeah, there's some great.
No, I
There's
know.
some-
I do think Green Day is
Yeah,
good.
anti-establishment, like really at the
Yeah.
the perfect time during
I
the Bush
don't
era.
like think of Green Day as being emo though.
It
was,
totally
though.
is though. It's actually kind of. I think you could argue it started the craze.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't really my thing.
Or like The Cure started it too.
I love The Cure.
yeah, that's like emo stuff. That's emo.
I think that's more like
like new wave.
yeah. I was
emo.
gonna say like new wave. I like.
but that's
I like
all
new
emo
wave.
is. New wave is just angry. Or sorry, emo is just angry new wave.
Yeah, like why do we gotta be so angry all the time? Can't
Because
we-
life
That's
is
how
horrible.
we felt back then. and still
Because Bush
feel.
was in office, and he didn't.
Okay, The Cure was not making music when Bush was in office.
But my
nor
point,
did they
but
care.
that's
They
when
were
that's when
British.
new wave turned to emo. That's the turning.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, I like.
The
I mean, I like
turning?
new wave.
2020? 2020?
Turned. Get what turning? Okay, who hasn't rated yet?
Wait, I
me.
didn't get my rating now.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
My rating is
It stays 10 out of 10.
No, it's like a 1.5 because it was
Whoa.
it was not
The
good.
death of childhood.
No, but I mean, like, it wasn't like I didn't enjoy myself watching it, but like, it was bad.
I just love the fact that it's like, literally, like you threw out. Was that 9.5 points? 8.5. 8.5 points are in the trash. They've just slowly fallen away over the years.
We also just confirmed that that Logan can't do math. So,
8.5.
well,
You
first
said
you were like
9.5
9.5 first.
Well, I thought you gave it a half, and then I remembered you gave it a 1.5.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Because I thought I heard the half part, and I was like, "Well, she didn't give it a half because that'd be really mean." So I kind of collected that.
Yeah.
Context clues, as they say.
I would give this movie a D. It's not very good.
These, that's fair. I'm a little perplexed because my original scale is 1. It goes to a movie that insults a group of people, and I argue that this film does.
It does kind of, yeah. It's
And-
pretty racist.
and-
Yeah.
but it doesn't follow my next critique, which is it's so bad I can't sit through it. I sat through it, so I guess in a weird way I need to find I don't know. Fuck it. It's a 1. It's really bad. It's really fucking
Sorry,
bad.
push.
I guess. No, what? No. I'm gonna give it a 2. It's a 2. It's because there is
None of us recommend.
there are worse. I can't give it 1 because it does go lower. You know what I mean? I can't do it. There might not ever be a 1. So it's a
I
2.
grade each movie individually. That's kind of how I have to look
same.
at
I
it.
have to think about it as like because I'm such a narcissist. I think people are gonna go with my view on movies and use it to guide them through what to watch. So I have to have the scale correct. There can't just be like a pile of ones that like are definitely worse than others.
I mean, yeah, for me, I'm like Franny. It's based on the movie itself.
Yeah,
Like,
it's based
it
on my
doesn't-
mood that day. It's
Well,
based
not
on the
for me.
movie.
The grade that
Me
it
too.
gives,
I'm different.
the reason I do grades, I think I might have said this before, but it's like grading a report, right? It's like how successful was it at doing what it was trying to do? Did it meet the assignment that it gave itself? So, there you have
So,
it.
Madison, did it meet the assignment it gave itself?
No. So I gave it a D.
Alrighty, guys.
But wait, wouldn't that be an F then?
Well, it's not. It's the F is like it didn't do anything correct.
What did it do correct for you?
I mean, there were some scenes in the movie which were kind of like interesting to look at.
For example?
Like I don't know. So like some of the chase scenes were kind of interesting. I like the music in it. I thought there was a pretty good soundtrack.
Chris
Some
Evans was
things-
in it. So,
Yeah, I mean, and like the
that was
acting was
fun.
pretty good.
I'll accept everything but the last one. I'm gonna
Okay, yeah. I mean, but-
emotionally, I'm throwing that last one you said away.
okay, that's fine. But yeah, I'm just saying like it didn't completely fail, but it also didn't do it well either,
Yeah,
which
I'd
is
say
why
so.
it hence a D.
It wasn't so bad that like I need to like write
Yeah.
like a post to
Like
the
we don't have
director.
to have a parent teacher conference about it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right.
All right. So now,
Well, we're gonna pause, and then when
Oh,
we
we're
come
gonna
back, you're
pause?
gonna hear from our sponsor.
oh, I thought we would just do it right now.
No, it's easier if we pause.
Why is it easier if we pause?
Because then we can also like it's got to disconnect. People can, it's got that period of pause.
Yeah, that's how most people do
It's
it.
weird if it just
Oh, so we just do
and-
what other people do?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because they're successful. We can do a
All
little bit.
right,
What other
fine, whatever.
No, you know what? We're not pausing. Here we go.
Nope.
Our sponsor
No,
this
we're
week.
pausing.
Today's sponsor is Upwork.
It's from a script, guys. It's our first time.
I think this is the first time reading an ad. Please
Be gentle.
Thank you, Upwork.
The Upwork story begins over a decade ago, where the tech lead of a Silicon Valley startup realized his close friend in Athens. You know, when I hear Athens, I think of Athens, Ohio. But I realize now that it's probably like Athens, Greece.
I always think of like Hercules, which is pretty good.
Realized his close friend in Athens would be perfect for a web project. The team agreed he was the best choice, but were concerned about working with someone halfway across the globe, which led to the development of a far more profitable idea.
Upwork's goal is to connect businesses with great talent, to work without limits, to create economic opportunities so people have better lives, and to put their community of independent contractors and entrepreneurs into a safe and successful environment.
All right, here's how it works. This is long but important, so we're going to go through it together.
Take that deep breath. Okay, here we go.
Start by posting a job. Tell them about your project and the specific skills required, or post it yourself if looking for work that interests you. Upwork analyzes your search functionality uses...
Well, I'm sure it's the search functionality.
Yeah, the search
uses.
functionality uses data
Thanks,
science.
Upwork. No, I'm
wow,
just kidding. Sorry.
no.
I'm just kidding. Please don't ever stop endorsing
I'm just
us.
playing. And so Upwork analyzes your needs. The search functionality uses data science to highlight the best freelancers and agencies based on their skills, helping you find talent that's a good match or jobs that fit your qualifications. Then they send you a short list of likely candidates. You can also search their site for specialized freelancers and professional agencies who can view your job and submit proposals to. And you can do all these things for free on their basic plan.
Tyson Quick, the CEO of Instapage, is quoted as saying, Upwork took a lot of stress off of growing with minimal resources. Upwork saved Instapage and other companies over $2 million in recruitment costs alone. And this is a pattern you see across all of their sponsorships. Join the movement of new recruitment at www.upwork.com/sign-up. This link is also left in our description, and what that does is it lets Upwork know that you guys came from our video. So please,
Click
if
it.
you want to support us,
please.
at least go
Or
check
you
out
want
what
to
they
use
have to
Upwork.
offer.
Click it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
If you heard this ad and you're like, yeah, Upwork sounds cool, which it does, click it.
Yeah, I'm on there. Check me out.
I am too.
I've actually have used it before any of this ever happened to me. Have used it.
I also. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not sellouts. We
Yeah,
like
no,
Upwork.
I know people who have been very successful from this, and that's a true story. This sounds like I'm kissing ass right now, but it is true.
We're really not. We as much as we love Upwork, we wish it wasn't so wordy. We love you, Upwork, but like we can cut it down.
But once again, thank you to Upwork for sponsoring us this week's episode of Crosscut Cinema Podcast. You sponsored it, and we love you for that.
Yeah,
we love having sponsors.
We appreciate it, Upwork. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
With your continued
Yes,
support, our
thank you.
ads will get better.
Oh, sorry, Franny slept through the ad. Oh well.
I did not sleep.
She slept.
She
That's
slept
fine.
through it. She sleeps through everything, even the ad. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah. That's our first time, so I think it went pretty well, guys.
Thank you guys.
And we're back. Ew.
That was bad timing. Okay.
I
Anyways,
think everybody's sad.
time to talk about Invisible Man.
Yeah.
We've
From-
got a couple teddy bears in the room.
Yeah, we
today.
brought some emotional support. So we've
Yeah.
got Chubb, who is British. British is
He might be British. You don't know.
Bridget's bulldog. Benny and the Jets. So we've got Chubb, we've got Cletus, who's Franny's penguin, and what is his full name?
Fred Duckless or just Duckless.
Franny's duck.
Yes.
And we just named him Private Ryan.
Yes.
He's a little purple giraffe.
He's
Yes.
been in here
That's
the
Logan's
whole time.
friend.
He's always been with us,
He is.
and he's
yeah.
purple, just like our colors. So,
What?
What?
He's our mascot.
little mascot boy. So we just saw some of us just like literally
Yeah,
today.
Bridget and I saw it today.
But this
What?
is from.
What?
We're dropping stuff.
It's at least the bottle has a lid on it.
Yeah, but that's why we keep things behind us, Madison. That's why we have.
I'm gonna drink it. I can't drink it if it's behind me.
You can grab
Unless I get one of those cool little hats with
You-
the straws.
it. You can grab
That'd be
it,
perfect for the studio.
and then
Guys,
put
give
it
us money
back.
on Patreon. We'll get the hats.
We'll post pictures on
So-
social media.
Anyway, this is from visionary
It was so
director
done.
Lee Winnell.
Yeah.
If you've seen Upgrade, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The dude is a master director.
I
He's
want
up
to
here-
venture a guess and say only you and me have seen Upgrade. Unless Franny's seen it.
Oh, you mean out of the podcast? Yeah, it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Um,
We watched it. You've seen it before me, but we watched it together with the first time I watched it.
yeah.
Somebody else was somebody else there?
No, it was just me and you that time.
Oh, okay. I was
You're
like,
thinking
maybe.
of Under the Silver Lake. We had another person watch it with us.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ooh, I love that movie.
We should do Upgrade.
Yeah, we should. We really should.
We should do Under the Silver Lake.
I think that's already been like, yes, we're definitely doing
Yeah,
that.
we'll do that
Okay,
at some
good.
point. But anyway,
But anyway, so my point being is, he's kind of on the up and coming directors list for me, like Ari Aster, Trey Edward Schultz, Robert Eggers, and then there for me, and Jordan Peele, of course.
I was
and
gonna
then,
say Jordan Peele.
and then there's Lee Winnell.
Hmm.
These are like the new masters of horror, in my opinion. Lee Winnell is
so
also.
I don't know if I would call this movie Invisible Man a horror movie.
It's
per se.
absolutely. It's a psychological horror film, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I would call it like a thriller. I don't know.
I mean, horror is about horrifying people, and
Well,
there
like-
were people screaming and crying in our theater.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, really.
That's
we only had
intense.
like a few people in ours.
We had some like celebratory yelling at the end.
Oh yeah, but that's a lot of horror. So here's the
But-
thing about horror. Horror is kind of like, because since we brought this up, horror is like the genre of women empowerment, right? In the sense that,
Sometimes.
I mean,
Sometimes.
we're talking about like the base of great horror films like Halloween.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. There's a yeah.
There's,
But
I mean,
there's
it was
also-
the first time in film where you would see a strong female character. I think that's fair to say, where she's not just like a Mary Sue, she has a real personality.
Like in the Survivor Girl thing, but that's also kind of like
so
a weird.
yeah, like Black Christmas, Halloween,
Yeah.
Psycho, Alien. All these films are horror films where it casts a strong female lead, and then that kind of bled into other genres going forward. I think horror, as much as in the 80s kind of evolved into like, let's see how many titties we can squish onto the screen. It was
Squish.
it was more or less also kind of a first time where you're going to see it's like the Scream Queens, you know? Like there's these group of characters where yes, they were in a horror film where they were running around screaming half the time, but they also needed to use their intuition, their sense of like not only physical strength but like emotional strength, where they had to deal with a situation that was really dire and fucked up. And I think that this movie also is an evolution of that into like a more real concept,
Yeah.
where it's a horror film that's now dealing with different things that people go through. real.
Yeah, and I mean, I
intense
think
shit.
that like horror generally is like a very subversive genre.
Oh,
for sure.
definitely. Like queer people. Well, I mean, LGBTQ people are queer people, but they don't always.
What are you
They have
trying to
that-
think? What are you trying to
The
say?
label isn't for everyone always. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but
Ugh.
what was
You're
the-
literally part of this community. Nobody thinks you're trying to offend them, Bridget. You're fine.
I don't know. I just got really anxious all of a sudden. But like we've always seen ourselves
in
like
horror movies.
in horror movies, minorities, people who are marginalized.
And people like to shit on the genre because they think it's simple, but really, it's one of the most relatable genres because everybody can relate to being scared of something.
And also, it's so easy to fuck up because so many horror movies aren't actually scary.
That's true.
Like
And I make
Graham's
the
point
argument
too.
this one is especially a horror film because I know people were afraid of in this movie. There was
Oh, I
elements
was.
in the movie that were scary. There were actually effective jump scares for once.
That's
where
true.
they were
yeah.
earned. They weren't just like random loud noises. I mean, not to like get specifically in the conversation, but that paint can scene is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
screamed and I saw the trailer and I was in there and I still screamed. Did I not, Franny?
You did.
I went,
You
dear
did
God, I
scream.
hate this.
Madison and I both like just grabbed each other.
Yeah, that shit. That's a horror movie
Yeah.
right
And
there.
Yeah, because I'm always like kind of cuddling with Bridget, so I have my like a little arm around her, my hands on her arm. But then something scary happens, and I like clench,
Ooh,
and I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
it was so good.
I felt protected.
One of Bridget's
Aw.
and mine, like my like first dates,
I was just thinking
was
about that.
at a haunted house. And what did I do? I feel like I like grabbed you when somebody jumped out. I was like, must
all
protect.
the time, like all the time, you would just kind of grab me and pull me to you, and I was like, "This girl is the one." She,
Oh.
I was like,
like
must
her-
protect.
like her
Aw.
first instinct, and like we were barely together at that point.
We were not officially dating.
We were not officially dating.
We weren't boyfriend girlfriend yet.
Oh no.
I feel like we went to
You weren't going steady?
No,
not quite, not yet, but I think we did one right after we became official too, didn't we?
Um,
The group.
saying boyfriend,
the-
girlfriend.
Oh no! Wait, or was that? No, that was okay. Yeah,
Because we went to
that fucking cave,
You went to the fucking cave,
and it was terrible. I mean, like it was fun, but it was also horrible.
Franny made me work with her
Yeah.
at a haunted house when we were like pretty much around
Yeah, I
when we
used
started
to
our
work at one.
relationship.
Which one? I guess maybe you don't want to say that. We'll talk about it later.
Do we give them an endorsement right now or
Yeah,
no?
we give them an endorsement. If you're
Okay.
ever in Kentucky, near the north, but not too north, Mayhem Mansion in Morning View, Kentucky.
I've heard that that's fun.
It was a lot of fun.
have
I
my
worked there
opinions.
for years.
Mm-mm.
But anyways, we can move on.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so you guys do you guys want to dive into the deep stuff about it, or do you want to just talk more about like the more cosmetic parts of the film?
I think you guys could talk about the cosmetic
Okay.
part.
I
I'm
just
sure
wanna
you
say
guys
something.
have things to say about that as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm as a whole, not you two, but do you guys want to talk about
Yeah.
this or this? Is what
I
I
mean,
was
I think we
saying,
can do
like-
both, but I think maybe we can start sort of on surface and then we
Yeah.
can
Okay.
go a little deeper.
That's
So-
what I was trying to say.
So cosmetically, the movie, the symmetry is fantastic. There
Yeah.
are so many shots where it's like the best Windows Surface commercial you've ever seen. And then there's other shots where it's so gritty and real. You're like, was this shot on film? I just instantly always go back when I'm thinking about the movie as far as like from a spectacle point of view. The beginning of the film is very intense.
I
and
know,
very
yeah.
effective. Everything in it is like just amazing. Like I think the beginning of the film is the strongest part of the film. Having her wake up, trying to sneak out, like the kind of the eerie quietness,
Yeah.
and then as soon as she's outside, it's so isolated. Your brain is telling you, we're gonna hear ocean waves, we're gonna hear like crickets and stuff. It's still like a dead
Right.
silence
yeah.
up until literally on the road, and then there's just a fucking explosion of noise because of the fight and the grappling
right.
ensues.
Yeah.
That was such effective filmmaking, and I was like, that is fucking great. I'm like, I know this movie's gonna be great now, and it was tremendous. I love this movie.
Yeah. That
And-
opening was very
It
good.
was so good.
And like
So
the
good.
waves
Yeah, the
crashing
waves.
in the background.
Exactly, but it
Like
wasn't.
constant when she was in the house, but then like
Mhm.
later on it was so silent.
Yeah, and then on top of that, with the waves too, it just felt like none. Like I don't know how else to put this. Sometimes when you watch a good movie and it has great shots, it still feels a little doctored.
Mm.
There was just like a real natural reality TV feeling about when she was outside. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
And it was just really like, it felt very real and good.
Yeah.
And then like the
Zeus.
the way that
Zeus,
the
yeah.
the like diazepam was kind of reincorporated.
Yeah.
I mean,
again.
you knew it would be, but the
Right.
struggle was so intense, you did kind of forget about it. for a
Yeah,
second.
and then just like that moment where she figured it out. The only thing that I will say was like a little bit disappointing to me because like just because I'm thinking about that scene where she found out that she had diazepam in her system was like when the person on the phone said, oh, there's something else we need to talk about too. Like I knew she was pregnant, and so I felt that I knew that for so long.
But that's not the shock in all of it. You find out that she's only been about a month pregnant, and that's about how long she's been away, so you know that he assaulted her. That's the surprise.
Well, yeah, I know, but like I didn't.
Well, that's my point. Is it was kind of a fake out where like, oh, when they were together, she was pregnant. But the fake out is that it's not. Like we all know she's pregnant. We think that's all there is to it. But when we find out this time frame, you then come to the realization
That when he's been invisible,
yes, when he was invisible, he did it.
Yeah.
So
I
that-
mean,
that-
to
that's
make it
why it's
even
not
worse.
disappointing for me because it gave you false expectations. It was a subversion.
well, I mean, I don't think it was. I would say it was disappointing, but it was like I felt like I knew that for a while, and I
But we
almost
also
wish
read
that
that-
she didn't. What?
we also read that doesthedogdie.com thing.
Exactly, you knew it.
So
and,
we knew.
and that was
Well, no, I knew when the person on the phone was like, "We need to talk about something else." I was like,
but
"Oh, pregnant."
she's supposed to be hinting it there because it's supposed to put in your brain she's been pregnant, and then you find out.
yeah,
It's,
I guess
like I
it's-
said,
yeah.
it's like a false lead up. Like it's like the whole time you thinking like, oh, she's definitely gonna be pregnant. She's gonna find out like the reason why she's like maybe some of like the heightened sense of needing to get out was because she was pregnant or whatever, or maybe he.
Well, but the
found
only
out-
thing is that
but-
I don't know because at one point the brother says, "Well, are you gonna you can keep the baby," and then all this goes away.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "You really think that he didn't know that you stopped taking you were taking birth
but
control?"
But-
even then, it doesn't. That was more of a because when you find out the time frame from the film,
And also, when you
okay.
stop taking birth
And that-
control, you have to detox to get pregnant. So she wouldn't have
Yeah.
had time to detox.
that's the
from
other.
birth
That's the other
control.
part of it too. Is
Yeah.
if she was a month out, it still wouldn't have taken.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I didn't think about it like that deeply in that moment, but now that we talk about it, it makes sense.
But that's a valid. If it wouldn't have been something else, I could see what you're saying. We're like that's so out in the open, and that's why it's such a masterful choice because that's how everybody felt. We were all like, oh, of course she's fucking pregnant. I'm sure everybody in the audience was like, oh, of course. And then we figure out the time frame. We're like, ew. Like then
Yeah,
you get
that's
the
a big
actual
ew.
reveal. Also, like I just like what they did with the the lore being that it wasn't the science. I mean, it was scientific, but it wasn't the science fiction idea of like
yeah, I was worried it was going to be
a
like.
chemical thing.
yeah, that's something that Bridget and I talked about. Like, they didn't explain it too much, which actually worked for its benefit.
And the thing
Because
is,
it's like the more you talk about how he's invisible, one, it takes away from what the actual story is, which is what it's just her story. And two, like it's one of those things that the more you explain it, the less sense it makes.
Yeah.
But if you're able just to be like, but when you get a little bit of information, like he's the smart tech guy, he invented this thing, you're able to just like, okay, I accept that.
And
And
like the
that's-
way they make the suit look almost looks realistic because like you see a million different like camera mirror things. Like
Yeah.
and that's where Lee Winnell is kind of genius.
Yeah.
Because he looked
Yeah.
up the technology to make sure it was real, and it does exist.
What?
It does exist. Yes.
Ah!
It's proprietary. It's not obviously as great as what's in the film, but it does exist. And then also he took the constant trope of the mad scientist because that's what this turned into.
Right.
It was a mad scientist idea.
And that's what the original
and the
Invisible
original
Man
is.
stories were.
And like, there's tons of good mad scientist films like Reanimator and stuff. But the reason why this one's so great is because he took the madman with his own cause concept out. Like every single movie you
Right.
watch about a madman, it's always like, I'm doing what's best for the world. Thanos, for example, he's like,
Right.
I'm doing it to help the population. Like, what a fucking big purple dick. But
Like,
point
no, you were
being
just
is-
doing it because you wanted to control somebody.
yeah, this is the first movie in a long time from what I've seen where the antagonist isn't like somebody brought to madness by their own narcissism and don't see that they're evil. I swear he's such a socio or a psychopath. He knows he's an evil fuck. And there's no like ulterior motive other than literally torturing this person.
Yeah.
So that's what
Right,
made it
and,
so
like,
interesting. Where it
control.
wasn't about him
Because
at all. It was about her.
And
you
it's
know what I mean?
it always was about her.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they talk about multiple times how like she always felt like he was reading her mind and like always told her that like no matter what she does, she's never going to escape him. Like he wanted to torture her forever. Whether it was realistically actually torturing her like her and the brother talked about, or like just mentally torturing her with the possibility.
Yeah, and the movie showed that really well because if what it does well is if you've seen the trailer for this movie, if you know what the Invisible Man is about, you assume that there's an invisible man walking around.
Mm-hmm.
And so like there are times in the movie where it's like you're like, is he there? Because you can't see him, but the movie frames it like maybe he could be, but also maybe he's not.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was really interesting because you're always like looking for the sign that's not there.
And Lee Winnell said that when they come out with the Blu-ray, he's gonna have a version on the Blu-ray where you just see the outline of all the scenes he should have
Oh,
been
that's
in.
cool.
That's really cool.
I know. I was like, holy shit.
I'm excited
That's
about
gonna
that.
change the experience. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
to know.
Then you know like where like a kind of like paranoia is kicked in for the character, or you might see all of those moments justified for that character. You know, when
Right.
she's kind of
Yeah.
having a freak out, like. There are scenes where you don't know for sure or not for sure, but the film might justify what happened there. Like, actually, she was in her right in that moment, too, which would be really cool. So,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. And I just love all the stuff with the cop, but my issue is that it's very confusing.
What do you mean?
The relationship she has with the cop.
How so?
Just because you don't know, like, their direct relation, really.
I think they're just friends.
I think
Yeah,
they're
but
friends.
my point being
They
is,
never go over.
imagine being best friends with a cop that is just like you see what I'm saying? Like it wasn't their friendship really wasn't super introduced. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. I just accepted that he was just her friend.
Yeah, but the issue is like, okay, is it a family friend? How
It
did
seemed
they
like it
become
because he knew
friends?
the sister as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I would
there's
have liked some background, like maybe like a
Like, you
college
understand.
photo or something
yeah, exactly.
together.
This friend was so close with her, he was willing to take her into his home in that volatile of a situation. And we didn't get any bit of their background. So that's really my only issue with that character. But the character himself and their relationship was great. I loved that. And I loved her relationship with the daughter. And I loved the relationship with, like, the grumpy-ass sister kind of concept. Like,
Yeah.
I think all of that was amazing. I just wish I would have had, like, a glimpse of how everybody could kind of was tying together. And, God, that brother is such a fucking sleazebag, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Oh, my
I was like, I don't trust him.
I was literally like, he's the worst.
Like,
And you could tell he's the fucking worst.
I think I even said
Disgusting.
early on to Madison that like
She's like, I don't trust that bitch.
I was like, I don't
I don't
trust
trust
him.
him.
Like he has to know.
Hmm.
I think I said he has to know or something like that.
And then just like one of the most effective scenes in the movie too was when she's at this restaurant with her sister.
I know. I was gonna wait to get to that. I
Yeah.
have so many emotions, but yes, please go.
And you're like, yes, oh my God, like finally someone is going to believe her and someone is going to take her at her word and listen and help her. And then all of a sudden it just happens. And you're just like,
and you're just as shocked as she is in the moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it all happened so fast that like suddenly she's holding the knife that she was never holding.
I'm standing by just praising Lee Winnell on the direction of that scene because it could have come off really pushy, like in the sense
Yeah.
of like the film Push with the guns.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. I
Came
do
off-
want to say that I did make a joke about Push because there is a scene where the gun is floating through,
Yes.
and I was like, Bridget, is this Push right
yeah,
now?
I know, dude. I was thinking that, but I didn't want to give it away.
It was like
in the
highly. It
podcast.
was. Oh, sorry. Well.
No. When we were doing it the other day, when we were talking about Push,
Oh, okay.
I was gonna make an Invisible Man joke, but I was like, I don't want to like give anything away.
Yeah, it was like highly tense moment, and I was like, Bridget, is this Push?
I know. But just that whole scene was incredible. Like
Yeah.
as I mean, like it was so fucked up and so morbid, but it was like handled perfectly.
Yeah, it just like all happened.
Sent chills down
So
my
very
fucking spine.
fast.
It really did.
And then how like we get kind of almost a call back to that at the very end of the movie when she kills him,
Kills the shit out of him.
and it's amazing.
And the
Yes.
cop friend just kind of
He just
knows,
lets her do it.
but
He's just like,
just
yeah.
doesn't even give a fuck.
He said, yeah.
And it was just so, but at the same time, it was just so upsetting that like no one believed her. Like she was
But
saying it and saying it, and no one believed her.
I think that
Yeah.
that's
but
kind of
that's
the
the
message
point.
he's
Yeah,
pushing,
and so
right?
it was
Yeah.
so upsetting.
The whole movie is just gaslighting the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Like I will say that there was like one scene one thing about it particularly that I like was frustrating to me. I don't know if I don't like it on the movie level, but like it was just so frustrating to me. She found that fucking phone in the attic. If she had just grabbed that fucking phone and shown anyone pictures taken of her while she was sleeping,
That was
Well,
on
that would've
Adrian's
done
phone.
worlds
Okay,
Well,
for
so
her.
let me make the point that wouldn't
Yeah.
she just say that you stole his phone and somebody took pictures of you?
But it was him and the daughter.
Oh, you
Yeah,
stole my.
but-
You
but-
stole
It
his
was her
phone
and the
and
daughter.
used a self timer.
No, or you just had someone take pictures of you, like anyone, because there's no. It's not like the police for sure know. You couldn't have hired anybody or have anyone in your life who could take a picture of you while sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but then also if she had showed her cop friend, he would realize that that was the same night that she had like a freak out.
Now remember that same night though, she ran out of the house trying to protect them. She tried to lead him away. That's why she took the Uber.
No, that was
and
a
ran off.
different.
That was a different time.
That was a
That was
different
the-
night.
The phone was the same night.
Oh, when
because-
she found the phone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same night. So if she didn't have a chance to show anybody, because from that point on, she knew it was real, and she's like, I have to get them away from family. So that's why that whole thing happened where she got him, ran out of the house, got the lift, went all the way back to his house ahead of him, because like it'd be crazy to watch a guy visibly driving a car, though it does happen later. And that at
Wait,
that point,
how did he get to that house? Do you think he just fucking walked?
he was living there in the attic.
Yeah, but did he just like run? Like
Yeah.
No, do you,
back to his
or do you
own
mean
house?
his own house?
Yeah,
Oh no,
he probably called his brother.
Oh yeah, I mean he
Yeah,
can always
exactly.
take the suit off.
but
Yeah.
she didn't expect him
To be working with somebody.
There's two things. She didn't know a suit existed, so she
Right.
thought he was invisible always.
She only realized that the suit existed in that amazing paint scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
But even then, she didn't know for sure that it was whether it was a suit or just him. She wasn't for sure there was a suit aspect
Yeah.
to
Right.
it yet. So, but she did know something was going on when she found the paint washed off in the sink. So she didn't, for one, know how it was working, and two, knew that he had a way to get extra travel. So she thought, I'm going to run out of the house. I'm going to lead him away from this house. And this will give me some time to figure out what's going on. / not get killed.
Right, and I think
/
And I think she had a suspicion about the suit because she saw like a
Yeah,
weird setup.
She did, yeah. And
When
that's
she
why she
was
went to go
leaving.
investigate. Yep. And
Yeah.
but in all that time, and then it just went straight into, I need to go to somebody who will believe me and someone who I feel safe with.
Right.
Because on top of it being a horrible situation, she's in a horrible state of mind. She needs somebody she trusts.
Yeah.
So she goes to her
And I
sister,
mean, this movie
and then
shows
that's where
her-
the line starts going.
And this movie shows her being so like smart all the time. Like every decision she makes is so smart.
But that brings me back to the photo. There wasn't a moment. Because at
Yeah.
that point, it was an overdrive.
Yeah, I
You know
guess
what I
that's a
mean?
fair point.
I mean that.
But
that
it was just
what
so
I
upsetting.
thought.
I was like, "There's a phone."
There's a phone. He's been living in the attic. He's invisible, and he's
He's in
living
the
in the attic.
fucking
Why?
attic.
Nobody can see him. Why is he living in the attic?
It was
Also,
so smart of
also
her.
like, there's a reasonable explanation for this, which is that the restaurant doesn't have cameras. But how did nobody see?
But even if you saw, if you were
Yeah, I
one
mean-
out standard who saw, do you believe what
And
your
then
eyes
yeah,
saw,
you would
or
just
what
be like that.
happened?
There's no way it happened that way.
Yep.
Which is the same with the
Yeah.
daughter. Like she fully thought that Cecilia
That
hit
scene
her.
almost made me cry.
I know
Yeah,
it was
I was-
upsetting.
Yeah, because
I
like
think I screamed. I literally screamed.
Franny was the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, there's just nothing in her mind that could have told her any differently, even though like she saw it play out. Like
Right, but you can't like
yeah. She knew it was odd that
I
like,
mean, like,
she
this-
got up that fast and did it, but like there's no other
Yeah,
explanation
no one else
for what
punched her in
happened
the
to her.
face, you know?
right. There's
Right.
nobody else there in her mind. So yeah.
And it was
But
sad.
There is a weird and you know, maybe this is a dark thing to think about, but the one thing in the film, it was like a 3-second moment where her sister realized that she was telling the truth.
Right.
And I know that it's horrible to think like she died instantly after, but that gratification moment was just like,
Yeah.
I could tell it was like that last little bit of energy from the Elizabeth Moss character where she's like, okay, this is really happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because even if she's entirely crazy and all this is in her head, her sister's vindicate, like her actualization in her eyes right before she gets her throat slit
Yeah.
is like, you're not crazy, this is happening. And I think that that's the catalyst that gives her the strength to get through the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
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 So that scene was great.
Yeah,
Really
and
well
that, and then like
directed.
having the brother confirm it, basically, was
Yep.
like,
Yeah. Really.
That brother, what a
I know.
fucking slime ball.
and just the guy who played Adrian too was just so disgusting.
Yeah,
He looked like a
actually,
rat.
Oh my god, his teeth.
there was my thing at the end of the film. I'm like, I know that he's supposed to be a gross character anyway. I'm like, but they couldn't find anybody who's just a better actor to play him. Because at the end, he was just not very good. And the thing is, the rest of the movie was great. And then they had this villain who was just kind of like not very believable. Like, I don't know. I just felt like they could have picked a better actor to play that guy.
I don't know. I think he was like convincingly arrogant and convincingly smarmy.
Sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it was just the fact that he's playing at the big kids table with Elizabeth Moss, and it just showed. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like the brother was more convincing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And just like that, even in the end, he like wouldn't give her that satisfaction.
Yeah, I know. Well, he
just
kind
the
of
fucked
did.
up way he said
But
it made me
it's
so
like
upset.
it's like
Right.
he's still fucking gaslighting her. Like what
Right.
an asshole. So
And
I
he's
mean-
and it's ultimately even worse because he's like playing with the idea that maybe it could have been him.
yeah, and it was just like, well, fuck you, blah.
And the surprise, like fucking.
Yeah, that was such a satisfying moment though.
Oh my god, I know. So much. It's so worth it. That moment, that build up. When it
Yeah, like the
finally
victory
happens.
was worth that movie.
For
Mhm.
sure. But man, and you know how they made the altercations with him seem so real?
Mhm.
Is they actually usually they'll have an actor like swing at nothing.
Right.
They just
Yeah.
covered a guy in a thick like green suit, like for the green screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Filled him up with padding. That way, when she went to really swing at him, she could hit him as hard as she could. So
Yeah,
she
that makes
really
sense.
hit him with actual plates.
Oh, that's
She
awesome.
hit him with real
Amazing.
fists, kicked him for real. He had full padding on.
yeah, that's
Okay.
cool.
So he got
cool.
his actual ass kicked.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, like he looked like it looked very real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss was like the perfect choice to play that character too. She did so
Yeah,
good.
she killed
She-
it.
Yeah, she does.
really
She does a
did.
great job. Like leave Scientology, sis, but she does a great job.
I didn't know
Correct.
she was a Scientologist.
She
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, there's a lot
Unfortunately, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
of them.
I was
There's
so
a lot
Too
of them.
shocked.
Separate the
so
art from the
upset.
artist, as they say.
It's still an anti-Scientology podcast. I don't care.
Yeah.
Correct.
Scientology, if you want to donate to our Patreon.
We can quickly become a pro Scientology podcast. I know y'all got money.
Freaking, we'll have Xanu on, dude. Don't even worry about it. Is that his name? Xanu?
Xenu?
Xenon?
Xenon.
No,
Or wait, no,
Xenon.
Xenon is the.
Yeah, that's
Xerox?
the
I don't know.
23rd century girl.
It's
or whatever,
Xenu,
right?
I'm pretty sure.
What's Xenon's theme song? The 22nd century.
Are you thinking of Phil? Phil.
No.
Future.
There's this guy. He's got fully frosted tips to the point where it's like white like Christmas.
Oh, her
and he's
song.
like my supernova girl.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
forget
what
what
the
you're
fuck
saying.
That's not-
I
that's-
don't know.
That has nothing to do with Scientology.
Anyway,
but
John
you think it
Travolta,
would.
you want to come on the podcast?
Yeah, dude. We're gonna watch Fanatic eventually. We promise.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just like the victory of it was so satisfying and made it all worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
This movie was great.
Yeah, and just like all the fight scenes were so good, and the way that the camera moved was really good. I mean, Upgrade is like that too when you have these like big like swinging camera movements that are really cool.
And Upgrade was
But-
a little more inventive, but I'd argue
Well,
that.
yeah, because they invented it for Upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. But also in the sense that just like a lot of the shots are a bit more, but that's because I feel like Lee Winnell recognized that there was a bigger story to play than just visual.
Yeah, I mean, Upgrade is a very different movie.
I feel like if it would have been at that level for this film, it would
It would
have
have been distracting.
Yeah.
But in this case, those interesting camera movements add to that sense of like paranoia. It's like when you're like whipping over your shoulder to look at what's behind you. I just realized that
Tons-
I just physically did it,
Yeah.
and then you stopped hearing my voice for a second.
It had tons of Halloween references, not only with the strong female character, but with the hospital scenes, the scenes in the rain.
Well, something that was really cool too was in the hospital scene, you see a guy and his face is all wrapped in bandages,
Yep.
which was like a cool nod to
Little
the
nod,
original
yep.
Invisible Man.
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Mhm.
Man.
And Adam Driver in Marriage Story for like
Yeah, I
10
know.
minutes.
Said the Adam
Oh my
Driver.
God.
Franny did not know what that was till
No,
recently.
I didn't.
Mhm.
Man.
Man, oh man.
There's just so much to really go through as far as like, and then it like, how else do I say this?
What? Tell me.
Is it weird that when all these policemen, maybe this is just like a like a dumb thought, but when all these policemen were getting fucked up, it's just like another moment where it's like, God, like why do they like the whole film? They just suck so bad. They're single-handedly dismantled by one man. Not to mention the whole
Right.
film, they can't realize that this person's clearly not the one who murdered her sister. Like this constantly, every fucking scene.
I mean, it's hard when someone's invisible, though. Like,
Sure.
you don't.
Sure, but
Bridget, cop propaganda Hamilton starts cutting police officers slack. What's
No,
going
I
on?
mean, and just like in general, like it's hard when someone's invisible.
But
I don't know.
what I was actually getting to that. I was like, I think the police are kind of the stand-in for those who are ignorant towards how damaging gaslighting someone can be. I think
Yeah.
that
Well,
that
then I also think that like what happens for a lot of people is when they report their abuse to the police, they're not believed.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so I think it was a very much an
Correct.
intentional, like these guys are fucking stupid.
But as far as a
Yeah.
film goer goes, I know that was a point of tension. but it was also a point of like, I fucking want to slap these
Correct.
normie ass cops who can't
He's
handle
no
a
good motherfucker.
a single dude. One
Single
singular
He's
man.
invisible.
Come on.
Sure, but half of the
I
time
mean,
he
sometimes
wasn't.
he's invisible.
After he got stabbed by very smart Elizabeth Moss, by
I
the
know.
way,
Love her.
who
Queen.
fucked him up. He's like flashing in and out, which, by the way, I realized that that's like a trick in order for him to finally become more mortal, and like the film did that as a choice to like start to cut him down. But I think it worked perfectly because even when he was able to be shot, these cops were so fucking numbskull, they still couldn't get him. He was flashing in and out of existence. You could see him clearly, and they're like, "Bleh, oh no, my gun was pointed upwards. Whoa, I'm going through the wall. You stupid assholes." Anyway, but I love the film.
But it was good. But it was also really good for me that she got to be the one to like
For sure.
do him in.
And
Yes,
and like I said,
correct.
what he did with the cops was important. I think it was the right choice. But you know, even in good movies, there are moments where you're just like, "Oh, this makes me so upset. This is happening."
I'm also wondering is like when do we feel that the brother took over?
Oh, so when he went, so here's the
Because
thing.
when he comes back to the house, it's the brother. But I'm like, at what point was the switch made?
I was
It
wondering
was-
that too.
It was literally the guy left, went to his house, got his brother to put on the suit, and he had him tie him up because he had the same stab wounds that were consistent with the.
That's what I thought, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
Yeah, and the thing is,
So he was like, "Okay, brother, tie me up, and now you got to go over there and
Yeah, yeah.
kill that girl."
No, he didn't even have him tie him up. He goes, "Come get the suit from me. I'm gonna drive home and fucking fake my own shit."
Yeah, and then the brother's job was to go and
Yeah,
kill the
because he got there so
Yeah.
fast, too.
right.
And it was just like, okay, you go take care of this, and that's why I actually think there might be a third suit.
there
because
was
the
3
suit-
mannequins in the back.
and the
Yeah.
suit
Which
worked
was-
perfectly. So maybe there's even a chance. There might be even a small chance. He just called his brother. They never met up.
Yeah,
Dude drove straight home, like got into the bath, got his bullets out, and then
Right.
fucking tied himself up like a crazy asshole.
yeah, and I think there was definitely like a third suit
Because
for
he
sure.
had when
Yeah.
you see him being found, he has wounds consistent with what happened to him at the hospital.
yeah,
Like-
Crazy.
Which is
My-
like, police officers again? Are we doing this again? No, he has the wounds that are the same as
Right.
the fucking guy who got shot and stabbed at the fucking hospital.
and again, it's like she's telling you. Why won't you just listen?
But that's how the movie.
But that's the point.
It's the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
And-
made it so effective.
Also, like, he wouldn't have like ligature marks consistent with several days.
Yeah, it's true.
Weeks actually, because he's
Weeks.
presumably been dead for weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Do your job.
Insane. Well, it's just because
But
the other theory
I-
was so insane. to
The
them.
cop did kind of explain that part away though, effectively. The one she was living with, the guy, I can't remember his name.
I don't remember
I don't
remember.
either right now.
He goes, this is how he's like we know that he's mainly responsible, but this is how it works, and you
Like-
don't
Yeah.
and you don't want to get fucked over on this, so just let it go.
He's like, let me do my job.
yeah, he's like, he's rich and all this other stuff. Don't
Right.
do this. Because
Yeah.
that was basically like him being like, we probably could figure it out, but he has so much money he could bury the facts.
Right.
So maybe that's it, but still.
Which is another fucked up gaslighting moment of the whole movie.
Yeah.
My only like real very small problems with it were in the psych ward, and as people who listen to our marriage story podcast might know, I was hospitalized a couple times, and so I know about that stuff. The only thing I noticed when I was watching was I don't know if he would be allowed to have his tie on
Yeah, Bridget's like, he would never be allowed to wear a tie in there.
because
So Bridget's issues are not even with the movie continuity
No,
issues.
no,
They're
no,
just
no.
like, they would never let you do this.
I don't know. Maybe that's one of those oversight things.
Yeah.
I mean, just in my personal experience, I don't remember anyone wearing ties.
Well, that
and they
makes
were very,
sense.
very, very like
Especially like when this
Who,
woman's
who
a
was
murderer.
who was wearing the tie though?
it was the lawyer. He
Mhm.
the
came
brother.
in, and maybe the lawyer and her friend too, but I don't know for sure. And I might be wrong on that, but like because she was in there for murder, I would think they would be like more careful about that. But I mean, small inconsistencies.
Yeah, and
It's-
I mean, I would. That's like so specific too.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That
just
I'm
because
sure that not even a single person in the product development or the costume set were like, let's account for this. But I mean,
Yeah.
that is something that I'm sure if the director had heard would probably agree with, because his attention to detail with the film was pretty
Right.
Yeah.
impressive. So
And my only
he's gonna
other
listen to this and like shed a single tear, like fuck, I forgot about the
damn
ties.
it.
I forgot about the ties.
And
Damn
the
it.
pens, the
'Cause he's
fucking
so-
pens.
He's so specific. He is so.
no. I mean,
Well, the pen
my-
played a part in the film though, so he had to make.
Yeah,
that
I don't think
excuse.
that the pin is as big of a deal for me because she had to use it. But why
Not
would
that
he have-
either is a big deal, honestly.
Yeah, no. My only other thing is the chairs were not correct.
Well, don't you think maybe other places also have different
But-
chairs?
I mean, yes, but like I feel like if it's maximum secure, it's a very high security place because she committed a murder. The chairs would be weighed down, so you can't throw them.
Oh, good point.
They are like plastic, really hard plastic, and the bottoms are really thick, and they put sand in them. Yeah. They're really hard to pull out, even just from the table, and so it made sitting down to eat very hard. Those are my two things.
Those are the qualms.
Those were my
Those are the
two
qualms.
qualms. Thank
Okay.
you for your time. This is my TED talk about
Bridget can just be a consultant on small movie details.
Yeah, there you go.
like small movie details about psych wards. I'm like, yeah, yo.
I
I
would
saw
make,
this.
I'd make this big one. I'm sorry. I'd just make this big point. Why would a man who's invisible choose to live in the attic?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because he's
Well-
hiding, but he's invisible. Can't he just
Well, I
live
think
outside?
he wanted to almost set it up for her to find.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because he wants her to, because he wants her to know.
I guess.
Because I felt like he kind of took the pleasure in, like, she knows I'm here, but no one will believe her.
Yeah.
And that makes it worse.
Absolutely.
Then I make the opposite argument where attics are creaky, and if he was walking around during the day, that one cop downstairs would be like, "Whoa," and look up.
He probably wasn't actually in there.
And I'll make this point too. The attic itself was creaky because when she was walking around up there, you're,
Because you'd have to get in and out without anybody
But I
noticing.
feel like
Yeah,
she
the
did
ladders
hear
are out
there a
noises
lot.
and stuff.
yeah, but we're talking about the
Yeah.
other characters that live in the house. Does he just sit up there and go the whole day when they're all home? Like,
I don't think he was up there a whole lot.
Yeah,
I think
but
he
I
was
but
just
actually
he's
don't even
using-
know if he was really living up there.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was.
he
there.
might have just.
No, he was living up there. There was blankets.
I
a
didn't see the
pillow,
blankets.
Food, all in that little creek, little corner he had. There was a whole dang old setup.
Well,
up
he
there.
probably only went up there at like night.
Yeah.
The loudest thing you can do in the middle of the night is drop a fucking stair, like drop the fucking thing, get a ladder, climb up there, all the creaky.
But then we would never have that paint scene.
I agree, but that's my point. It was another choice. It was a plot point
What
choice.
if he just wanted to make it look like he had been living up there?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like,
but
that's
then
fair.
where the fuck was he living? Because he was there
he was
at
probably
night.
sleeping on the couch that was in that one room.
But then you run a huge risk of somebody going to sit on you.
I also felt that it was kind of implied that he had been back to his original.
Yeah,
home.
because-
But
Look,
not
I
every
hear
night
that.
because it's so
I hear
far.
That, but then there's the argument where he'll do something at night and then do something the next morning.
well, I
so-
think his moves are very strategic.
I mean,
Are
that's
the
definitely
things.
true. Yeah, I'd
he
say
was
so.
calculated. Everything he did
Yeah.
was planned.
And so
And
I
then-
think he was like, he probably had like a plan out, like, I'm going to do this now.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But my point being is, where did he stay in the middle of it? Did you just stand there like, here we go?
I mean, I don't think it would be really that hard to just find a spot.
All I'm saying
And then
is,
if you see somebody coming to sit down on the couch, like, you know.
but you sleeping because you have to sleep even if you're in an invisible
He
suit.
might have slept in like the closet or something.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
It's not that big of a deal. to me.
Here's
It's
my
not that
point.
big of a
Here's
deal
my,
to me,
this
though.
was my overall point because it's not a big deal. My point is we can pick out inconsistencies in any film. That was just my main point. Is like your inconsistencies, the ones that I found, they do not demerit the film. In my
No,
view.
the film was amazing.
Fantastic. Okay, well,
it made me unsettled for quite some time.
I just want to bring up before we do our ratings or whatever, because it seems like
Are we already
might-
at
We're not
Ratings?
even close.
I don't know. It just like the way that Logan like spoke made me think that he was like, yeah, all right, we're done.
I've always done something wrong. I'm sorry.
No, Logan,
You're
you're
the
fine.
worst, Logan.
I think I literally was like, alrighty then, or okay then, or something like that. But I talk so much, I forget that I need to let other people talk, so I stop myself.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So another thing, I just faked y'all out.
You're
LOL.
like, God, this podcast is almost over. No, just kidding.
So another thing I thought about was like the sexual assault element of him like coming and impregnating her
Yeah.
would be made so much worse because she shares a bed with this girl.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And like
And to be fair to the film, not to interrupt you, but it's up in the air. But that resolve makes me think.
I also think
But I can't say for sure, but that's just what I drew from it. So that's all I'm saying. Because then it makes the earlier fake out seem a lot less.
and
And it was
like,
definitely with the Klonopin. I'm saying that right? I mean,
diazepam.
he
No, the
Diazepam.
diazepam, yeah.
Sorry.
What is
Yeah.
Klonopin?
Klonopin is
Klonopin's
something
another
different.
Yeah, it's another drug. Sorry, I have my
Yeah.
drugs confused. But he definitely used that so he could zonk her out long enough to do that. That was
Yeah,
definitely part of
absolutely.
that.
Ew, that made me
Ew.
so upset. I don't
Yeah.
ever.
But that's
It's
a
true,
big part
though.
of that.
Yeah.
He
And
fucking drugged her and raped her while she was in bed with another like child
He might have
while
done
he
the
was
same
invisible.
to her.
I don't think that was the goal, and I don't
I mean,
think
like,
he did
no,
that.
I'm not
I
saying
wouldn't
he.
put it above him though.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
would put
all
it
about
above
power,
him,
right?
But I don't think that was the goal. I think he
I'm-
was very calculated. I don't think he would have done a fuck up like that because he wasn't drugging this child.
I mean, I was just saying he could have drugged the child so she wouldn't wake up.
Oh, that too.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he raped
It's not
her.
like, well, I mean, he could have.
I mean, he
though.
could've,
He also
but-
did. It's not like he respected the fact that she was a child. I mean, he punched her in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Right.
right.
So clearly, he's a shithead. I think the whole movie tells you that, but he especially in that moment, you're like, what a fucking shithead. He just punched
Right.
like a 16-year-old.
I was very worried about the dog a lot of this movie.
So was
I was-
Bridget.
I was
Bridget
too.
was so
Yeah.
upset.
I was
But we
like
looked at
almost
does
crying.
the dog die, dude?
I wasn't worried that if the dog would die. I just was upset because she had to leave him.
Yeah.
You know what?
I-
Franny literally was like, "You can't leave him. Go back." And then at another point, when she met up again, he's like, "You have to take him with."
Yeah,
You
when she
can't leave
went
him
there
behind.
after like he was dead, quote unquote, I was like, okay, you have to actually take the dog now because the dog can't just be alone.
Yeah, I was very upset about that, but I knew that like for her escape to work, she couldn't have taken Zeus.
No.
I fucking love Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus Stan podcast, not the not the mythology Zeus necessarily.
Hmm.
And by necessarily, I mean
At all.
Our friend's dog's name is Zeus. Also, I think that's like a common dog name. From
It is.
It is. I don't know why.
I didn't mean to call you basic, buddy. I'm just saying. This movie, man.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting.
I don't think
It-
any movie has made us fall quiet so often, and it's
Yeah.
because we're in thought about the things that happened in the film.
And just also like the subject matters it handled are very intense.
Yeah.
But I feel like it handled a lot of them pretty respectfully, even though it didn't really hold back shots on them. Like the obvious one, the shower scene with the what?
That scene, I'm just remembering.
When she
it.
cut her wrist.
Yeah,
like
Jesus Christ.
Medicine had to cover my eyes.
yeah, that was a really intense scene and probably very upsetting to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think like
myself
if you're gonna see this movie, you should know that it's like highly upsetting in many ways.
included. Yeah, like
And does the dog die is your friend because it tells you if that certain things happen,
I loved it.
and but not in a way
Spawn
that
us.
gives you spoilers.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
But
And-
I'll sponsor Does the Dog Die? I think
Yeah,
that
same.
is
Yeah.
that they're doing the Lord's work over
They
there.
are.
I will do it for free, dude.
Yeah,
we
like
will
I-
sponsor them for free. I have that website has helped me so much.
I saw this movie. Like
So
me
good
and
to go
Logan
in
saw
prepared.
it. Yeah,
Mhm.
me and Logan saw it a couple days before Bridget and Madison, and I got out of the movie and was like, okay, I have to like preemptively tell Bridget that this movie's going to trigger her because it triggered me, and I feel like an audience should know that that's like either like been assaulted or been abused or had anything similar to that or any trauma like that happen, because I mean, for somebody dealing with PTSD currently or still handling that, it could be a very upsetting movie at times, but I feel like the triumph really pays it off.
Yeah. I mean, it's You go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just saying yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a really it's very effective, but I also feel like it really needed to exist as of
Yeah.
late,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Yeah.
glad it did. And I'm glad it came out of the horror genre again, because everybody never expects it, but there's so much said in the genre. It gets away with giving out so many messages.
Yeah.
You know, Black Christmas is infamous with that. You go with like if you're going with Carrie, it gives off kind of a different message in the sense of like a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
You know, horror has always done that, and this movie, on top of it being a horror movie, was a genuine message passed along. So
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it
I
was
mean, I think this. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying it like really like spoke to like victim advocacy and like listening to somebody, and even if somebody sounds crazy, like taking what they have to say into consideration. And I really liked that. It didn't write off a character for just being paranoid.
Yeah, and I think this movie is just like saying something about how important it is to believe women and to believe people who say that they're victims of abuse.
believe marginalized. Believe anybody that people are just turning an ear away from. You know?
Especially against somebody of power, because
Right.
anybody in a powerful position, whether it's an authority figure over somebody or somebody with more money, it often becomes really sad for the victim, even more so because it's so hard for them to have a voice against this powerful like being.
Yeah, and it's like nobody ever wants to think that like the charismatic, powerful, like rich dude is also a horrible person, but like that's the reality, and it's often the reality, as we see with like these high profile
usually people
cases.
who have the immorality of being like a billionaire, while there's people who are like well, literally there's child poverty, right?
Usually people who take pleasure in amassing power also take pleasure in abusing it.
Yeah, and I think that anybody who also, I mean, absolute power is absolute corruption every time.
Right.
So whenever somebody's given that opportunity and they were selfish enough in the first place to amass so much money while not helping people in the first place, that it kind of goes hand in hand with being a shitty person generally. If you weren't willing to help in the first fucking place, you're really not going to be a helpful person when you've amassed so much money and so much success. So, like, fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an anti-billionaire podcast too, bitch.
I mean, it's always been that way.
Anti-shitty billionaire.
What is a good billionaire?
Anti-all billionaires, bitch.
Name me a good billionaire.
If you want to get back in this podcast favor, it's time to start forking it over, buddy.
Who's a good billionaire? Who do you
True,
know?
you're right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
that's the sad truth.
Bruno Mars in that one song.
I want to be billionaire.
So
It's not
freaking
millionaire,
bad.
it's billionaire.
Billionaire, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like if
I
that
think it
song
is.
came out like 50 years before, it would have been millionaire.
Huh.
Or I want to have equity.
I want to
Because no one was a billionaire then. Like, you know what I mean?
I want to have a pension.
I wanna
so
pay my fucking
freaking
rent.
bad.
I want to have a union. So freaking bad.
And now today it's like, I want to have universal health care so freaking bad.
Just want to take care of my old dad. I went to a Bernie rally essentially today. Like, we canvassing and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. Met Nina Turner. She's a queen. Anyway,
I also want to like say that abusers come in like all shapes, sizes, etc. And also, like, I mean, obviously billionaires are probably
The worst.
the worst,
some of the worst, yeah.
but it can come in like all walks of life, all genders, all walks of life, all.
And like, and even if you don't expect that person to be that kind of person, if you're like, oh, well, I know them, whatever, it's still, you are still doing the right thing by believing the victim.
Correct.
Because like, because those instances where they're lying are so seldom, and so often I feel like the people are telling the truth, and it is, you are being the best person you can be when you just believe people.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't talk about it much, but I had a really bad emotionally, in some cases physically abusive relationship that was terrible, and the person was the kind of person that was like friends with everybody and took very much advantage of that. So I very much relate. And you know who you are. Fuck you if you're listening to this, by the way.
Yeah. Nobody
you're
expects
a
the
dumb
charismatic
asshole.
person to be the abuser. Like,
I hope you enjoy that Little Caesars pizza, you bitch.
Ooh.
but yeah, like, you know, I've been in a very abusive situation I've kind of touched on a couple times, but that the person who put me in that situation was somebody with authority over me, so me having a voice was near impossible during this time in my life. And I think it's just important to look past the surface and like see the signs and like see the red flags. Like there was probably many red flags that like her, you know, the family might have seen and ignored or something like that, and it's just kind of sad.
And obviously she was very isolated from them.
Yeah.
So like you're,
Mm-hmm.
you know, why am I not suddenly able to talk to this person like I used to be?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Like,
just kind of sad that like people get put in these situations, and like I mean, it's not anybody's fault that they didn't notice or anything,
No,
but it's just sad. I think there should be more awareness of looking out for each other as a whole.
yeah.
yeah.
But then, like, the triumph of this movie is that you can overcome the things that happened to you in the past.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because, in a way, I mean, you know, he is haunting her in the past of what the past things that he did to her haunts her.
Yeah.
And in that he's literally there, but also even if he wasn't, it could still be for her like he was.
Yeah, I like that part of the movie because like
Even though it was the fuck ass brother who said it.
yeah. But like it's true,
Yeah.
like the ghost of him was gonna haunt her regardless if it was a physical entity or not. Because she wasn't just going to magically run away from all that and feel 100% better.
You guys can keep talking. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Do you want us to just pause?
You guys can pause. I just need a second.
Okay, let's
Okay,
just
we're just gonna pause for a minute. All right.
And we're back on the Crosscut Cinema podcast. I'm Logan.
So things got a little.
No one else cares, I guess.
Oh, they already know our names.
Did we introduce it at the beginning of this episode?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did
At the
when
beginning of the
we
actual
did
episode.
yesterday when we did push.
Oh, that's right.
This is all the same day.
What?
This is all the same day, I swear.
We never stop except for when we just did because we got sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we
had to talk
needed
about some things.
needed some friend therapy for a moment.
Yeah, we just talked about some things that we didn't want the world knowing. Like 200 people subscribe to us right now.
I think it's almost 300, right?
Is it really?
It's at least like 250, isn't it?
I haven't looked at it in a minute.
I think it's
And by
like...
in a minute, I mean since yesterday. I don't remember the number, but I saw 232 or 230 something at one point.
checking right now.
I had to delete my
Check,
YouTube because I
check.
don't want to accidentally get Bachelor spoilers.
264, baby.
Yeah, no, we actually did not watch The Bachelor
Hey,
today.
thank
which
you
is
guys
crazy.
for all
it's
subscribing to
Monday
us.
right now.
For the subscribers out there, thank you so much. For the commenters out there,
Yes.
thank you so much. I saw that some comments were blocked by YouTube. I would recommend not saying any like egregious things because they'll block them even though we don't want them to be blocked. So if you want to say the F word, just say ducking and we'll know what you mean.
Or just like censor it or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Censor it for yourself, but know that you can email us the direct comment if you want to leave something
Yeah,
nasty.
you can say whatever you want.
If you want to say something real nasty, just email
Are
it
we
to
able
us.
to like actually see those?
The ones that are blocked, no. You don't get to see them. They just show up as a notification, but you don't get to see what they
womp.
were.
I'm really sorry, guys. That sucks.
I wish
I wanted to know.
If you know that your comment isn't showing up, just email it to us.
Right, just send an email.
Yeah,
If
'cause we
if
do
you
wanna
wrote
see them.
something, if you wrote something mean as fuck, and you're like, God damn it, they haven't even seen it.
I didn't get to tell those lesbians I disagreed. Darn it. Dang old dang.
Why are
Well,
you
no,
Adam Driver? You
Oh.
were Adam Driver all of a sudden.
They deleted my comment and they blamed me for it.
But yeah, we got sad, so we took a break, and but I think we're like just about ready to rate this movie, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to do that now.
All right,
Who
why don't
wants
you
to
go
go
first then,
first?
Bridget?
I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Woo!
I think it's my movie of the year for me.
Mermaid pussy. Is that appropriate?
Sure.
I thought it was
Okay.
gonna be clapping and cheering and shit.
That is on here, but I'm afraid I'll pick the wrong one. It'll be something really like mean and go in response. Okay, let's see here. What is this? That doesn't work either. We'll get there. No, stop it. Anyway, we have a
Are you
soundboard
still
and we
leaving
have.
on? Oh, okay.
We're
it went
still
off.
learning.
What if I hold on? Let me see. Let me see what this one is. That
Oh,
doesn't work either. Okay, let's see.
I mean, it kind of does. It's a horror
10 out of
movie.
10. Do-do-do-do.
There it is. That
Sorry, headphone users. That was loud.
I'm
as
so
hell.
Oh, you
sorry.
should see the way the audio looks during that part. It's really
But it was
loud.
dynamic. It was so dynamic.
It was amazing. It was truly a moment that we had.
All right, I'm ready for my rating.
Do it.
9.5 out of 10.
Hey.
Can't quite dedicate to a 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna go with an 8 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it an A.
Hey,
We like this movie. It was
Yeah.
a good one.
There's not a bad score across the board. You know,
No,
it's
yeah.
not quite a Marriage Story with it being like a half.
It
and
has
half
a
or-
much better floating gun scene than Push.
It does.
Correct.
It has a much better than Push.
Push it.
It's just a much better, and on all across.
Yeah,
all
most things
boards.
about this movie are much better than Push. I'd
Absolutely.
venture to say all things.
So, as we were talking about comments before, one of the comments we got from one of you guys was that you wanted us to review Donnie Darko. So we've decided for next week we're going to review Donnie Darko and
Hell the
Madison's
fuck
pick,
yeah, we
which
are.
is
Scooby motherfucking Doo.
the 2001 live-action Scooby-Doo film.
Hey, I
Hey.
fucking love that one.
So this is the one where they go to the
Mystery
Mystery
Island.
Island.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's great.
I love that movie.
I'm excited.
It's a
And
great movie.
w-
It's no Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, but it's pretty good.
me and Madison, and I assume you two too, but especially like me and Madison, we're major Scooby-Doo stans.
Love Scooby-Doo.
Love Scooby Doo.
I always love Scooby-Doo.
If you watched a pup named Scooby-Doo, you're a fucking real one.
What I think we should do is when
Hey.
Scoob comes out,
Scoob.
we're gonna watch. Well, we should watch Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed as well.
Heck
with
yeah,
it.
dude.
Do
No
a
promises yet,
Scoob.
but I think that's a good idea. A
I
Scoob.
agree.
I love Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed
She
a
does.
lot.
I've-
I reference it all the time, and very few people ever get it.
I feel like the beginning of it. You know, we're actually getting into reviewing right now, so let's
Stop.
not.
Okay.
I almost did that. I
We
literally
need
almost
to-
did that. Also, we need to talk about our Patreon.
Hell yeah, I was just
Hell
about to
yeah,
say
we
we need
do.
to talk
Does
about
somebody
our
have the
Patreon.
tiers pulled up right
Hold
now?
on.
I can.
So we're gonna pull up the tiers for you. We've finally officialized.
Yeah, we've actually gotten off our asses and done it.
Yeah, because we know that, especially with everybody asking us other platforms, there's a bunch of other stuff. We're gonna get more onto making our content more available, as well as offering more to our Patreon donators. So, another thing is we're also talking, other than tiers, having specific things that you can request, and one of them is gonna be Bridget writing a fan fiction.
Hey.
Excuse you, published author Bridget writing
Published-
a fan
okay.
Bridget
fiction
has been
A
published.
of your
published-
fucking
published author.
choosing.
Bridget Hamilton. Bridget Hamilton.
All
Bridget Hamilton.
All right, so do you want to know the tiers?
All right, let's do it.
Read them out,
All right,
mama.
so for $1.99 a month, we will read your name and give you a shout out at the end of every episode. We will follow you back on Instagram and Twitter, your social media stuff. All you have to do is just tell us. We'll follow you back. You'll get exclusive access to quarterly, which means every 3 months. If you don't know what quarterly means, occult podcast. So we wanna talk about spooky shit, but we don't want to be just another occult podcast. So we're gonna make it exclusive
Mm-hmm.
because
Because that's what
it's not for everyone.
you're giving us something, so we want to give you guys back
Yeah.
something specific.
Exactly, yeah.
hmm
So if you like spooky shit, that's for you.
Which who doesn't?
And then whenever we do bonus content, so like if we do another thing like we did with cats or any kind of other bonus content, you'll get that early.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And then that's for the price of, like, let's say here, this $2. That's literally like a drink and a half at the dollar store. Like, dang old, you're getting so much out of that.
and we would know because we went to the dollar store last night.
Because we're broke, because we need this Patreon to
but
work
with
out.
your help, we can upgrade to whatever regional grocery
we
chain
can go to
is
freaking-
relevant to you.
Dude, we go to Trader Joe's.
Whole Foods.
We could trade at Joe's.
We
We
could trade
can't.
at
We
Joe's.
can't go to Whole
No,
Foods.
I don't want to go to Whole
We're
Foods
not
at all.
Smosh. We can't go to Whole Foods yet. It's not an option.
Okay, so next one up, $4.99 a month. Not bad, if I do say so
That's
myself.
one $5 foot long.
So you get all those things you heard before, plus you get access to our exclusive Discord. So we want to like actually talk to people, and so we had the idea, which we've stolen from YouTubers we in fact hate, but we're like we should make a Discord and then we can just talk about movies and shit on there. So you get access to that for your entire life. We'll send you a thank you video, so you'll get to see our faces, which is very privileged
And it'll be
information.
personalized for you.
Yes, it'll be personalized. So we'll just be like, thank you. It'll be like, thank you, Ass Man 4002.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Douglas Canopy. I don't know. I'm coming up with names here.
Yeah, but whatever. But we will personally thank you. We will make it fun. And then another
John
thing,
Hamm.
another thing that we want to start doing is doing like a monthly media Q&A. So we want to keep it like really quick and snappy. But basically, you will be allowed to submit one question about any kind of like film, TV, media that you want, and we will answer it.
A good example is just like, what do you think about Chris Hemsworth being cast in Doobly Doob? And we'll be like, this is what we think about it. Kind of like any sort of question you have, even about old media, or if you want to talk about new media.
Yeah, whatever you want. We will do our best to answer.
We're just going to have a big old smackaroon where we read them all out.
Heck yeah, we are. And then we want to do a free-for-all Q&A where you can ask us offensive and disgusting things, and you will get to submit one question for that as well.
And that'll be posted at the end of the year, kind of as like a New Year's Eve party thing, where we're going to read the nice things you guys have to say or ask about us, but we'll also read like the disgustingly vile things and give the answer to the best of our ability. I mean, we're not going to tell you really personal stuff, but we'll go there.
Hell yeah. So same deal as the other one, except for instead of just submitting one film question, film, TV, media question when you join, you get one every month. So
and that's for the
this
top
is
tier.
for the $9.99 tier. So if you want to get really fancy and really crazy, you get a question every month, my friends. Plus, when you join, you get a short Warrior Cats fan fiction, as we already said.
No, we didn't talk about that one.
Yeah.
So
but Bridget will write you a fan
This
fiction.
one is specifically because I don't know if you've been listening to the podcast, but
Bridget loves Warrior Cats.
yeah, there's a
I loved Warrior Cats as a child.
That
I'm
love
She
can't
was a
die.
Warrior
That
Cats
love can't
girl.
die. That's still there. You may
That
not want to
love
admit
can
it.
die.
It didn't die
It
because
did
it's
die.
living on in our Patreon. So if you guys donate if you guys do the $9.99, which is cheaper than a Blu-ray, might I add. You'll get that fan fiction written by Bridget when you guys sign up.
Published author Bridget Hamilton.
That one's specifically for what's it called, Warrior Cats.
Yes.
But if you guys do the specific one where you buy one, you get to pick your own
Which should be
choice.
up soon. It's not up just quite yet, but it'll be up soon.
We're working on what that should be,
How we
at.
should
And with
structure it,
with the Warrior Cats fan fiction, it's gonna right? It includes them. They are in the fan fiction
that's
as
the
Warrior
thing.
Cats. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
draw.
mean,
you get
yeah.
to be your own cat, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then
I
if
can
you guys
make a cat for you. Oh God, I hate this.
If you guys are okay with the material she writes about you as well, we are going to conclude it. We are going to include it in a volume at the end of the year of all the Warrior Cat stories she wrote into one big old book.
This is what we want to do. These are our aspirations, guys.
I really hate that I'm doing this.
Self-publishing, baby.
So-
it's a thing.
She likes to act like she hates that she's doing
She
this.
loves
She's
it.
But she's
fucking
like,
pumped.
She's so
I'm a-
excited. She's
I'm a
like, I
published
can't wait till
author.
I get to write.
I mean,
Warrior
I
Cats
love being a
fanfic.
published author. I like that a lot, but
if Bridget doesn't want to do
She's
it,
so
I'll write them.
excited.
I'll write them if she doesn't want to do it. It's still
Yeah,
her
She
idea.
wants to
I'll
do
it. I'll
them.
do it. I just
You want to do
Just
it.
admit you want to do it.
It was her idea, dude.
No,
it was not my idea.
was actually
I
my
said,
idea.
Oh, was it really?
yeah, it was Logan's. I said that I should do fan fiction for them, and Logan was like, it has to be Warrior Cat fan fiction.
Well, yeah, because imagine you trying to write a personalized fan fiction for every single
yeah,
person.
exactly. And
have
also,
to
this
learn so
leads to
much.
the
In the
larger book
fandom
that we
of
can
their
sell
choice.
later.
yeah, that's true.
I
It'd be
think
weird if
that'd
there's
be
like
nice
one
choice.
page
Bridget,
he's
if
hanging out with
you-
Goku, and the next page is hanging out with Itachi. You know.
Bridget, if you really don't want to do this, now's the chance to back out. This is when we can redact it.
No, I'll do it.
Hell
do it,
yeah.
do you want to?
Bridget.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to do it. That's why I was like,
I'll
Right,
do
like
it.
you seem less than enthusiastic right now. And
I
I'm
was
like,
just fucking
"Eh."
around because I was like, if people think that I don't want to do it, then maybe they'll like
Oh,
be
true.
like,
Bridget hates it.
I'm gonna do it to fuck
oh,
with
so
them.
you're
I'm gonna-
lying again.
I'm gonna pay $10 a month to make Bridget do something she doesn't like.
I don't know. I mean, I was just fucking around.
But anyway, you get the fan fiction, you get your monthly question. You also, like, if you have a thing that you want us to promote, so like if you also do a podcast or if you have a YouTube channel,
You have
or
a product. You're
you have a
part of
product that
A
you make.
are you an Instagram influencer? Whatever. Whatever
You're
you
an
want.
entrepreneur. Maybe you made those weird little tree hats. I don't know.
Are you a porn star?
Maybe
Hell
you
yeah,
Hell
we'll shout
yeah.
you out.
Maybe your
Fuck
dog
yeah.
maybe your dog has an Instagram that you want a boost in.
Yeah.
Cross-cut erotic cinema. There you
Yeah,
go.
like whatever. If you're making porn and you want people to see it, that's great. We can do
Amazing.
that. We can do that for you. We can
Exactly.
do that bitch for you.
Selling feet pics, we can help.
We can, and we'll do it at a discounted rate. That is what
Hell
you get.
yeah.
Yes, it should be a discounted rate. And trust me, our rates are very fair. We're very negotiable. We just can't offer it completely free to everybody because then everybody's
Because
going to
then
be like,
everybody
we
will be like-
donated $10. He's going to talk about my dick on his podcast. We can't quite do that.
Like I'll only talk. I'll talk
we
about
will
your
if you
dick in
pay
your
for
podcast,
it.
but
If you pay for it.
And then this is like I think the most fun one about this tier is that annually we will make like a little swag bag. So that could include things like stickers or wristbands or buttons or another fun stuff, and then like a little official membership card to our little club because we want to be exclusive.
Yeah. How much do you want a sticker or like a bumper sticker that says the saddest podcast to hold a martini?
That would be great.
How badly do you want that?
Okay.
I love that.
Okay, so like you ever I want to make it like you know those like tattoo designs where it's like a girl in the martini glass.
Yes.
And
yes.
then I want
Thinking
like and then
that.
I want to make a little ribbon going around it like the saddest podcast to ever hold a martini.
Yes. It's
That'd
just
be
all
cool.
four of us holding a
I can
single
design
martini.
it.
We can make a mermaid pussy sticker.
Yes, absolutely.
The levels of things that we can do here are great.
We could have one about like a it's a dentist with like a prison jumpsuit on. His name says McCavity on it.
I love that.
We
I
could
love
just make
this.
a little like a McCavity sticker and then like a little text that's just like McCavity's a dot cat.
Yeah, ellipses cat.
Is it ellipses
Just
cat?
to fill in your blank.
There's so many things that we can do sticker wise.
We want to do it for you guys, but that's why we need you guys. If you want to support us, to donate to our Patreon, because we want to be able to do this as like a full-time gig, but as well as make cool stuff and like really invest ourselves in this community that's seeming to really
We
start
want
up.
friends.
We're also working on another like single payer like Patreon thing for merch too. And the cool thing about
Yes.
us is we will have merch available in all sizes.
Yes, we
So
we
we
think
can
it's
really-
important
yeah.
to. I mean,
We'll
even
make
if
merch for your dog. We'll make merch for your baby.
hey, that's cool too.
We'll make merch for
Little
anything,
cross-cut
yeah.
pup, little purple shirt.
Yeah, bitch.
But yeah,
But
we're just
anyway.
working on getting the prices and everything sorted for that and making sure it's functional. But yeah, we will have it available in all sizes, you know?
But
Kind of a
anyway,
bonus.
if you like this or hate this, or if you're a billionaire trying to get back on our good side and miss the
Hey.
guillotine
Yeah.
when we start rolling it out,
Bloomberg. I mean, we're not gonna not give you merch.
yeah, I mean,
You
like
know?
if Mike
You
Bloomberg,
will
if you
get
want
your you'll get your Warrior Cats fanfic.
Whoa,
Don't
whoa.
you
Yeah,
worry,
we'll do that for you,
Bloomberg.
dude.
We can be the shell you crawl back in, Mr.
Dude,
Turtle.
we can literally, Bridget will, for a price, write you a fanfic where you are the president of the United States.
Yes.
I'll do
She'll
that
do
for
it.
you.
If you want to like do that, if you want to be in like the what's a really obscure ass cartoon? If you want to be like in the Danny,
Danny
Phantom,
Phantom.
universe.
Wait, did you hear
We've
that,
just been
Logan?
talking about Danny
We-
Phantom
no,
so much lately, dude.
We just both said Danny Phantom at the same
That's
time.
so funny.
Danny Phantom. Beep beep beep. I used to call her
he
that.
used to say that all the
That's
She
time.
didn't like it.
But yeah, so if
Anywho.
you like what we do, you know, donate to the Patreon. Links in the description, bitches.
All right, y'all.
Hey,
Wait, did we have something else? Oh, we talked about movies for
Like
next week, didn't we?
Yes, we sure
and
did.
subscribe.
Thank
Smash
you
that
guys
motherfucking
so
like
much.
button.
We think you guys are pretty swell.
Leave us a comment. Send me
Leave
an
a
email.
comment, and subscribe, y'all.
Yeah, please do. We love you.
Thank you.
Bye.